everybody, GameHounds podcast. We are here for the last show in 2 weeks, which is kind of fun. Um, how you doing, Nick?
I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
The Steam machine came.
Mm-hmm.
Just last week I was complaining, like, come on, where is it? And Valve does not mess around. Like that,
No.
the Monday after we did the show, I
Right.
got the email that said you can get it.
Right.
So I
I got mine on Saturday, noticed it on Sunday, bought it Sunday. You get notified on Monday that yours is available.
yeah, and it shipped and arrived by Friday.
Mm-hmm. What day did mine arrive? Because I had it sent to Nick's place because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take.
Yeah, it
If
turns
I
out
was
it
in New
was
York, I wanted it to go to Nick.
because the assumption is that, like, oh yeah, it'll take a couple weeks to get here.
Yeah.
No, it took days. Yours
Mm-hmm.
came on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So yeah.
it.
So I ordered mine Sunday. It came Thursday. You ordered yours Monday. It came Friday. So it takes 5 business days.
Yeah,
4 business days, really. So
which
yeah.
is impressive. And part of me was just like, God damn! In a world where everything is just slowly and shitifying into a sludge of frustrating mess everywhere
Hmm.
around you, everything from video games to highway tolls, everything is just in shitifying. Valve's out here just like, yeah, you order it, we're gonna get it to you ASAP. Boom,
Right.
boom, boom. It's
Right.
like, oh my god. It's like, well, all of a sudden I got a flashback to like the year 2000 or 2010 when it's like, oh my god, the internet is like full of interesting things and it all
Yeah.
works and it's like, oh, a world where things just work as they're
Work.
supposed to.
Hmm. I know. And I couldn't be happier. But I have to say, and I do. This is it. This is how it arrives. This is the box
Which also the fact that it came in a box and I opened it up and it had a handle
that
to
you can
pull
pull it
that
out.
out. And when you actually open the box itself.
Hmm.
No,
I
like
will
open
open
it.
the box.
Oh, okay.
I will open it. But first, I
For
want to tell the
reference.
story. Yeah.
Okay, for reference, the PlayStation Pro and the PS5, they come in a box that, like, it's a big rectangle box, and you
Hmm.
open the lid,
Hmm.
and the lid kind of goes drew, and it's got flaps on the side so that you open it halfway. So you're like, you've got it, you've opening the lid, and it stops
It's a
right there.
right. It's a clamshell. Yeah, but
Yeah. So it's like,
it has a limit.
oh, that's all I can do. There's no handle. So it's like, well, okay, I guess I'm gonna turn it upside down and slowly lift the box to get it out. It's like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
open up the
Well,
valve and it's like, oh, it's a handle. Wow, that's convenient. How
yeah.
user friendly. What it's so nice to have something user friendly for a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I might as well. I guess I could open it. So I had to retape
Hi,
it. Fun
Manicatti.
fun fact. Hey, fun fact. Don't use this as a carrying case
Okay.
because unless you retape it, it comes with a little. It took me forever to figure out how to open it.
Ditto.
Co- Okay, all right.
So
I'm
maybe
not the only
maybe
one where I'm
maybe
like,
my
what?
it's it's too user
You could see
friendly.
where I was pulling. Like, wait, this doesn't. Oh,
It's too nice because, yeah, I'm like, how the fuck do you open this? And I see, oh, there's just a little flap of tape. You
yeah,
pull that off, and then it slides out very elegantly. But it's like, well,
right, right.
it's too elegant. I
Too
never would have
elegant.
thought to do that.
So yeah, you pull this little paper tab and it just opens. Problem is that once you've done that, if you try to use this as a carrying case when you're walking, the thing just
Mm,
opens up and your whole thing falls out. So
yeah.
do not use it as a carrying case unless you retape it, which I did in order to bring it here. So I just used a bit of packing tape and I will open it up. So yeah. All right. So that's the packing tape. That's essentially the equivalent of you opening it. And here is the actual opening, how to open it. Is you pull up the front and it just opens right up and there it is.
which is so nice because, like I said, I was expecting something like the PlayStation where I have to hold the box upside down and gently dump the console out.
I know, same thing. And all of the cabling, I've taken the cabling out. I don't have the cabling here with me, but all the cabling comes in this box here.
Yeah,
And on the top of the box, you pull this up and it's got the safety stuff,
you never
which
need that.
nobody ever reads and nobody ever
No,
cares about. So, but it comes in a little like black
hey Corey,
envelope. You open up the black envelope. It
black
also has
velvet
black
envelope. No, it's
vel
not.
it is. It's velvet.
Is it?
It's
Oh, okay.
velvetish. It's
Yeah,
velveteen. It's velvety. Let's just say velvety.
it's
Soft.
Velveeta.
So you don't need to take this sticker off or anything. You can just pull this
Oh,
flap open.
okay. I totally just like kind of
Yeah.
ripped it up.
Yeah, no, I was careful with mine. And that is it. There is your steam machine. It's, a little anticlimactic because, it's like it's just a black box. It's not, like fancy
But
schmancy
it's
and
also it's a small black box.
it's a very small black box as you can see.
It's
And it's light. It's very light.
it's literally half the size of
Let me
the
turn so I
um
didn't put my
the Xbox
my
Series X, and it's half the size of the PS5 Pro, which itself was half the size of the PS5.
yeah. So
You can also
black
pop off.
matte.
Have you popped the faceplate off yet? That's
No,
just kind of
but I
fun to
just
do.
did for the first time.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's the inside. There's the guts, and this is the faceplate, I guess. And it just pops
Corey,
off super easy, and it pops back on, I guess, super easy. Yeah,
yeah.
pop,
Corey
pop.
says, I thought it was the second coming of the gray block.
It is. It really is. This is LED, white LED, so when it turns on, you can actually, it, lights up, so you can actually see very easily that it's turned on. And it is super easy to set up. You've got a display port, you've got HDMI, you've got the power cable, you've got Ethernet. Surprisingly lacking in these, which has me a little concerned.
What are they?
That's the USB-A, USB-A, and USB-C. Only one USB-C
Well,
and two USB-As.
you've also got USB on the front.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Two
Yeah.
USB-As and a USB-C in the front. I really kind of wish there were two USB-Cs in the front because if you have a USB-C controller, that's the other thing that
I
you have to
mean,
keep in mind is that
all.
in order to set up, because I got
Oh,
mine
yeah.
without the controller, Nick, you got with the controller.
Yeah.
In order to set up a PlayStation controller, which by the way works beautifully with it, but in order to set it up as a Bluetooth connection, you have to plug in a
You have to connect it with the cable.
no, you not connect it with a cable. You have to plug in a keyboard or some
Oh,
other
oh,
way to
okay, okay.
control it so that you can turn this to Bluetooth pairing mode. Because if you turn this to Bluetooth pairing mode, then you can't connect to it. You see what I'm saying? Connect it by wire initially to actually use as a controller. But if you want to use it wirelessly, you have to have something plugged into it to control this that's not this that you're trying to connect Bluetooth wise. Because this has to be in pairing mode. And if this is in pairing mode, then it can't talk to this. It can't be plugged in. Make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
So, but you can control, you can connect a keyboard, you can connect just about everything else. And I have played it wired. I didn't connect a keyboard to it or anything else in order to connect it. And I didn't test it with an Xbox controller, even though I have one. Oh,
Hmm.
I have a fly in my, hold a second. I have a fly in
Okay.
my house, which I hate flies, but it's because I left my screen door open.
AC Race
Um,
asks, "Are you going to get the Gamer's Nexus faceplate that's supposed to improve cooling?"
um, I don't
And
think
I
so.
would say no, just because I don't think it needs cooling. But also, I went to their website, and honestly, the faceplates just actually look really cool.
Yeah.
Like cooling aside, it's like, oh man, they're kind of like a angled cyberpunk style grating,
Yeah,
and it kind of just looks cool.
it does. But yeah, the faceplate just pops right off. It's concerningly, it appears to be um, magnetic, which is
Yes.
odd to have on a computer. But it's very strong. I mean, it stays put. It's not like it's going to go anywhere. You do have to give it a
Hmm.
little bit of a tug to take it off, but it pops off very
Yeah,
easily.
the strong magnets.
Right, but to have strong magnets next to your hard drive is a little like uh that being said, I've played with it. I loaded 2 games into it. Here, might as well do this. I loaded 2 games into this, and this is not unfortunately going to be part of the podcast because, of course, it's show and tell. Doesn't make a very good audio podcast, which is why I'm doing it now. Um, it I loaded 2 games initially. I loaded the demo for Onimusha, and I loaded a game that I discovered mostly because I was looking for something to play on the Steam Deck for the trip. And I remembered how much Nick loved it, and I remember his description of it, and I thought, that sounds cool. Cult of the Lamb, which
Yeah,
is
fuck yeah.
Steam Deck optimized. So I was playing it quite a lot before this thing arrived, all week on the Steam Deck. And I loaded it onto here because one of the big advantages for me is that you have seamless connection between your cloud saves. So you can play it here, shut it down, go here, and pick back right back up where you left, and vice versa. So, and I wanted to test that capability too. So, Animusha looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It really does. Now, I was using a 4K TV, so consider that a lot of it has to do with the display of the TV. But I was using a 4K TV and just plugged it right in, loaded it on. I got my Valve account all loaded in, and it was as easy as setting up a Steam Deck, which is just scan the. If you have Steam already on your phone, you just scan the QR code, and it logs you in. Same thing with this, beautifully. The interface is exactly the Steam interface, no different. Um, then I loaded Onimusha, put it in here, downloaded very, very quickly. I was using Wi-Fi, downloaded on Wi-Fi very quickly, then loaded it up, and it looks really pretty. It looked really pretty. I didn't play much of it because I wanted to also test something that I knew would take a little more time, which was the transfer capabilities. Like, how good is it to play Cult of the Lamb here, cloud save, shut it down,
Mm.
go here, turn it on, see where I load up.
I also did something like that.
It works flawlessly, asterisk.
Oh, really? I have no asterisk.
Okay.
What happened?
So flawlessly asterisk is that it works flawlessly. You save to your cloud, then you load this up, it'll bring it back up. However, it does take a little time for this to save to the cloud, for it to actually get that save into the cloud.
Hmm.
So when I first did it, and I don't know if it was because this was the first time I ever connected to the cloud with this thing or what, but because I haven't had that problem since. But
Okay.
I saved, shut it down, put it aside, turned this on, loaded a Cult of the Lamb, and it said, you have a conflict.
Mm.
If you play now, you will lose your save. Else on the other location, on this other location, you will
Mm-hmm.
override the save on your other location because it isn't completed uploading to the cloud. So just because it says saved here doesn't mean it's
How long?
actually into the cloud.
How long was the time?
I would say a minute.
Okay.
So it's not instantaneous. Your cloud, which makes sense. Your cloud save is not instantaneous. When it
Yeah.
says saved, it means it's saving to the cloud. It has not necessarily finished saving to the cloud when it starts back up again
Okay,
and you
which is
shut down.
interesting because my experience, I was playing a game called The Root Trees Are Dead.
Hmm.
Um, and when I first set up the Steam machine, I booted up that game specifically because it's a mouse and keyboard game, and I wanted to test how the controller worked with it.
Right.
But I played a bit with I played a bit of the game on Friday night after setting up the Steam machine on the Steam machine. Saturday comes around, there's a soccer game, and as I'm watching it, I want to play on the Rogue Ally. So I boot up Steam on that and the Root Trees Are Dead on that and play it on the Rogue Ally while I'm watching the soccer game. When the game ends, I turn off the Rogue Ally. I, shut down the game, turned off the Rogue Ally, picked up the Steam controller, booted it up, which is, again, we talked a lot about how it boots up wirelessly. I just hit the power button. It turned on the Steam machine, but also automatically changed the input of the TV so that it just booted up. Then I booted up Root Trees Are Dead and just hit continue.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like 60 seconds passed, and I just put the Ally down, pick up the controller, booted up the game, hit continue, and it picked up exactly where I left off.
It may have been because I didn't shut down the Steam Deck. It
I
may have
mean,
been because
I
it was the first time, because I haven't encountered that problem since. Granted, I haven't tried to do it quite that quickly.
I don't
Because
think you have to shut down the
this was
handheld. I think
already
you can just
booted.
exit the game.
Right, but this was already booted. This was already booted. I shut it down and went straight to this. So it was a very quick
Okay,
trip.
so then I wonder if there's something in the like, oh, when I take the Steam Deck out of not Steam Deck, Steam machine out of sleep mode, there's something that happens where it automatically syncs. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed that I didn't have to do any manual effort. I didn't have to manually sync anything.
No,
So I wonder if
no, it
that's
just
something that it does at boot up. But I guess at boot up when it comes out of sleep. That's not the same as at boot
Steam
up.
is doing what Apple made its money doing, making it simple, making it
Yes.
elegant, and making it effortless. That it just thought it's an
It just
extremely thoughtful machine. Everything from the packaging, so far, everything I played, just somebody put some thought into this and said, you know what? It's it's a little a bit of a pain in the ass to have to do X. Could they have done this machine a year ago without having that fiddly bit of software that allows it to connect to every type of controller, or didn't have that fiddly bit that allowed you every controller when you hit the start button it turns it on and turns on your television. That they talked about how that was a bit of a technological bottleneck. Took them
Mm-hmm.
some time to figure that out. They could have released it quite a bit sooner had and probably cheaper had they not done that. But they took the time to do it and they took the time to make sure that it worked right. This is possibly the most thoughtful machine that I have had since early days of Mac, when using a PC was awful because it was a PC. And Macs, the thing that was great about them is you plug them in and they work. This is exactly what I wanted from this machine. I wanted it to be plug it in and it works.
Yeah.
And it does that beautifully,
I
really
I was
beautifully.
I was very excited for the integration, that being able to switch from console to handheld. That
Mm-hmm.
was kind of my main use case and my main desire for this, is to be able to play something on the TV, switch to a handheld, and switch back. And so the fact that I was able to do that really seamlessly, really easily, I didn't even get a prompt to that, like something would be overwritten. Like it just worked without me even thinking about it. And that to
It,
me, that moment
yeah,
when I booted up Root Trees on the TV and I just hit continue and it worked, that's when I thought, this is what I want.
this is what I
This was
wanted.
worth it. This is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I booted up one game called Routine, which is a sci-fi horror game. It's still an indie game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Steam machine, I was impressed. I booted up and I thought, oh wow, this game looks really really good. And I think reading a lot of the reviews of the Steam Machine and a lot of people talking about its limitations and how it doesn't quite stack up to a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think also a lot of that, like the little graphical details that they're saying, yeah, I can't do ultra mode for Cyberpunk 2077. But the thing about a console is that when I'm sitting 10 feet away on my couch, I can't tell the difference between upscaled 4K and true 4K. I can't
Right.
tell the difference between a game on high mode and a game in ultra mode. Like I'm sitting too far back to notice the tiny details in the textures. And so I don't think that particularly matters. Um, I was actually kind of impressed looking at routine, thinking, "Oh wow, this machine will be able to run more graphically intensive games than I was even thinking about."
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's it's designed to sit back on the couch 10 feet away, and so I don't I don't need it to do ultra mode because I won't notice that anyways.
Right. And
Yeah, and AC
also,
Wraith
if you
said,
think about it,
sounds like
uh,
decent audio for the podcast.
yeah, I may actually do this as a separate show for the
Yeah,
podcast, like just cut it out and make it separate for the podcast. So, um, the other thing that is I find very interesting and makes it what I was talking about doing Apple, but they're doing Apple better than Apple, is that, I'm talking about that ease, that efficiency, that just like, oh, thought, just thoughtfulness. I'm I'm going from Steam Deck to Steam Machine. That is within the Steam universe. It's all inside the Steam garden. You had an identical, flawless, seamless experience going from a Rogue Ally
yeah,
to a Steam Deck. Now, Apple is great for making sure everything works seamlessly within its own Apple products and doesn't
yeah.
necessarily make it very easy. Like, iTunes on an Android is okay. iTunes on a, like iTunes on a PC is okay, but the optimal experience is having an iPhone and AirPods and a Mac computer. And like or a laptop and the desktop, having it all within the same universe, everything does flow seamlessly, but not so much when you're talking about mixing and matching with other manufacturers, different parts of those. Yours, it worked just as seamlessly with a Steam Deck as it did with a Rogue Ally,
Yeah. Eh,
and that says something. It just works just as seamlessly with a PlayStation controller as it did with your Steam Machine controller. I would
it's
imagine when I use my Xbox controller, it'll probably work just as seamlessly.
yeah. Oh yeah, I can talk about the controller a bit when I talk about root trees. But so that I'm not just entirely glazing Valve, I will say that for as nice as Steam OS is, uh the storefront is still like it still feels like a you're taking something from the PC and you're trying to translate it to a controller, but there's still a lot of I'm on a page and I want to scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit down on the D-pad. I'm gonna go doot 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 to another menu item, menu item, menu item, menu item, menu item. Then I get to scroll. Then I get to scroll. It's filled with so much information that there's a lot of tapping through things. Compare that to like the PSN store
Mm-hmm.
where you're just kind of looking at a page and you jump to a page and you jump to a page. You open up a game page and it's just, oh, scroll down, scroll up, all the information is there. The game page on SteamOS is, yeah, here's a game page. You can also jump to another page and then jump to another page and then jump to another page. And then you can jump back and then you can scroll up and down each of those. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there's a lot here. You've done a good job to condense it, but it also feels
It feels web based.
Yes, it does. It feels web-based, not controller-based.
Mm-hmm. Right. And which I'm fine with, honestly. Uh, I don't know that I would. Could you optimize the Steam
I don't
Deck
know how
operating system so it would be more
it's
controller type
it's less
friendly or
about.
TV friendly as opposed to your monitor?
Oh yeah, it's
But
like it's very mouse-based, and it's less
yeah,
about
mouse
it's not
based.
about the operating system. It's about the UI.
Yeah, the UI. Right. Could they
And
make a difference like UI skin on for this thing? Sure. Should they? No. No. I
there are
kind of
always
like
ways
the
to
uniformity because
streamline things.
I know exactly where everything is. Here's a case in point. Have you ever tried to use the uh, PlayStation Store or even the Xbox Store and buy something on your laptop?
No, because
Yeah, because you
A,
always use your control.
Xbox
Your
Xbox doesn't offer that functionality. But
Mhm.
with PlayStation, I use the app on my phone.
Right, use the app on your
They have a
phone.
phone app.
But if you ever tried to use your computer, your actual laptop, it is a fucking impossible to find everything because, of course, they've gone from a controller-based, TV-based kind of thing, and they've changed the UI to make it more mouse and keyboard web-based, like you would feel like it was a web page, which it is. And you get lost because you're used to where things are. And then you come here and it's like, I cannot fucking find anything. I can't fucking find anything on this thing. It's all there, but it's all in different places. The uniformity of I went in, I instantly knew where I was on the Steam page. As soon as I loaded up, it was like I had no question where my library was, no question where the settings were, no question about anything. It was exactly the same. And I think there's a value in that same experience across all different platforms, be it Steam Machine, be it Steam Deck, be it your PC. You'll know where everything is all the time. Nobody's hidden it under a different place or because of slightly different skin or whatever. So, bottom line, well, do talk about the controller because I think I'm going to
Yes.
release this separately, the podcast. So rather than
Yeah,
actually
no,
talk about it in
I
relation
want
to the
to
games, talk about the controller.
yeah, I want to talk about the controller.
Okay.
It's a good controller. It's not great. I think in terms of just general ergonomic feel,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the few minutes I played of routine, which is a kind of more typical uh it controls like a first person game because it is a first person game. That immediately made me realize, oh yeah, the PlayStation controller feels better. Um on the Steam controller, the thumb pads are just like higher up on the controller than it is on PlayStation. So on PlayStation, the controllers are just kind of down here. On the Steam controller, they're like farther up because you have to make room for the mouse pads.
Mm-hmm.
And so that by itself is a little like it feels a little weird. It's like I'm stretching my thumbs to get it. On the plus side, there are two uh, back buttons that you can hit on the underside of the controller. So that gives you a lot more flexibility to kind of remap controls because
Mm-hmm.
you go from, I don't know, was it 10 buttons to 14 buttons. So it's just kind of nice to have those options for remapping. But the game that I spent the most time with, The Root Trees Are Dead, is a mouse and keyboard game. Like so full on mouse and keyboard. I had to like spend at least an hour remapping the controls on the Steam controller
Mm.
to get it to work nicely. To think, okay, because there's The Root Trees Are Dead is the game that I played. It's kind of a detective game, but you are clicking on fields and then typing. And then you're using the mouse to scroll up and down menus and then clicking into a field and typing. So what I would found was that if I just had the controller activated, I could use the sticks to move the mouse along the screen. I could use the trigger buttons to click that mouse, But when I clicked into a field, that didn't bring up the keyboard. So I had to go
Right.
into the controls and specifically map a button to bring up the keyboard. And but as I'm in there, I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do? I want this to map the keyboard. I want the triggers to zoom in and out of this cork board that I'm looking at. And I want to change the sensitivity of the mouse so that one stick is really sensitive. No, one stick is not sensitive, so I can use that for fine-tuned control. The other stick is more sensitive so that I can flick across the screen really quickly. So again, there's a impressive level of customization to all of that. That's really
Mhm.
nice. Um, but then once I did click into the field, that keyboard popped up. I have to type. And there's a lot of typing in The Root Trees Are Dead. And that's what in the video these two mouse pads are for. And it took a little moment to kind of wrap my head around because the keyboard that pops up, you have to use both mouse pads for it, which makes sense once I kind of figured it out. Um, the mouse depends, there's like a one-to-one correlation of where your thumb is going and where on the keyboard you're going. So if you put your thumb in the middle on the left side, that cursor will appear in like the middle half of the left side of the keyboard. So you're kind of constantly moving around two different cursors on screen because you're using two different trackpads. But that means that you can kind of pretty easily click a button, click a button, click, 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 click. And again, you can change the sensitivity of all that. I didn't quite get into changing the sensitivity of the trackpad. It might be a little too sensitive for me, but by the time I finished the game, I was pretty easily able to intuitively have the buttons and go, okay, click this, just like type things out and then hit the trigger as enter. And it worked. And I was kind of impressed that what was, according to Steam, like a full on, no, 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 you need a mouse and keyboard for this. Like, you're going to use a controller? Fuck you. It needs a mouse and keyboard. And I was able to play that game in its entirety, leaning back on the couch 10 feet away, my feet up on the coffee table. And Rachel even asked, like, well, you could plug in, like, if it's a mouse and keyboard game, you could plug in a keyboard. Like, we could get you one of those, big square things that you sit on so you can have a mouse and keyboard on it on the couch. And I specifically said, fuck that. I don't want all that shit. I just want the controller. And in that regard, it worked. I
Mhm.
think I don't know if I will be playing, what's a game that comes out like Control Resonant on this, just that kind of really intense shooter game, just because the ergonomics. I'm so used to the PlayStation controller that uh, I kind of want that for all these sweaty, intense games. But the Steam controller does what it needs to do in terms of bridging the gap between a mouse and keyboard and a controller. And so as I'm going through my library and I'm looking at all the games that, oh yeah, this can use a controller, this needs mouse and keyboard. This can use a controller, this needs mouse and keyboard. I'm not looking at that thinking I should uninstall the mouse and keyboard games. I'm just looking at that thinking I can still play that.
Mhm.
I can play that sitting on my ass 10 feet away in my living room. And again, that's what I really wanted out of this machine. I wanted to be able to play a, you know, mouse and keyboard indie game sitting on my ass in the living room.
Yeah.
And the controller, it will take, I'm sure those mouse and keyboard games will take some configuration the same way Root Trees did.
Mhm.
Um, but I can do that. And the configuration for controls, um, like it's not that difficult. Thankfully, Root Trees had a community template.
Oh,
So if you're
nice.
looking, because when you're remapping controls, you can download templates that other people have created. And that was one of the ones that did that. And after I downloaded that, tested it out a little bit and thought, oh, wait, no, I want to change these things. Instead of having mouse click on the trigger, I want to put mouse click on R1. And I was like, okay, it was easy enough to go in and change that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially easy because I can have the game running, go into the controller layout, remap the controls, go back to the game without resetting it, and all of those changes take effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a bit of like getting used to, but again, the goal was to play mouse and keyboard games in the living room, and this can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is exactly what I hoped it would be. Exactly, if not more so, of what I hoped it would be. That I knew that I wanted something in my life that was like this. I didn't realize how much I wanted it until I actually had it.
Yeah. And
I am so happy that I bought it.
good, because
I'm not happy that I
you
spent a
were
thousand
like,
dollars on it. I would have much preferred it to be an $800 machine. I would have been much happier it was an $800 machine.
okay.
But that's not Valve's fault at all. And as much crap as Valve got about that price, and I heard a lot of podcasts that just lost their minds that they would have to spend $1,000 on something that didn't
I
even have a controller. Who
It's
wants
a
to buy?
lot of
That's what.
money.
Who buys a console without a controller? I'm like, this one, you can do that. You can absolutely do that because it's Valve. They thought about this. They realized this is a thing we want to have people be able to do is to use whatever you want. So,
Although I do imagine that's going to be a new standard going forward, just as a way to like keep price down.
right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that, I mean, I don't know that PlayStation could do that because that's always the thing is that they always update the controller when
They
they
will.
update the machine.
I still suspect PlayStation 6 will ship without a controller just so they can have like a 99.99 999.99 version
Yeah.
of the
An
console.
under $1,000 version of the console. They
Yeah.
might, but nobody would nobody would buy a PlayStation 5 without a new controller.
Maybe they
They
would.
just wouldn't.
It depends if it what does the controller do? That's the question. Does it do anything
Possible.
new?
Possible. Either
But
way,
like yeah,
this is the machine I was hoping it would be, and I'm super excited. And there's a reason why I don't have any of the controls with it, because it is the only machine that I am going to insist stays over at the boyfriend's house. The PlayStation I brought here, and I proceeded to not be able to play the PlayStation because I'm never over here. I'm always over at his place. This thing's going with me. It's going to stay over at his place because I'm going to play it all the time. And and the other nice thing about it, it is so small.
yes.
It
If
really
anything,
is.
they should have taken a cue from the GameCube and put a handle on the box itself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if I mean, that's asking for trouble. I wish that it had a carrying case that came with it, that even if it was just a soft carrying case, so that I could just carry it with me, stick it in my backpack, because I could easily stick this in my backpack and take it
Hmm.
with me. It is not too big, it is not too heavy. And you look at things like the PS5 that is massive. It is
PS5
a
is huge.
huge machine. And you look at the Xbox Series X. It is a huge machine. Now,
It's
both of
big. It's
both of
big.
those have hard drives on them, so I wouldn't feel comfortable putting either one of those in a backpack. I would absolutely have to put them somewhere. Also, here's another thing. I'm just gonna like quibble about comparing console to console. Have you ever tried to pack a PS5 if you don't have the original packaging?
Yes, because when I
It's
got the Pro, I put the PS5 into the Pro box.
right. Okay, but you had the box for the Pro, so you had some kind of manufacturer packaging.
Except that the manufacturer's packaging was designed for the ergonomics of the Pro, which, as I said before, is half the size of the PS5.
Okay.
So that didn't
Um,
work.
if you have ever tried to move a PS5 from, say, your house to your boyfriend's house, and then from your boyfriend's house to your apartment, You can't just stick it in a box. It's gonna slide around because it is unwieldy weight-wise, is it unwieldy size-wise, and it is irregular in all shapes. Not even square anywhere. There's nowhere that you have to pack things around it to keep it from shifting around.
Mhm.
This is a box. I could
Ye-
stick it in if I was moving, I could stick it in a box and put other things around it, other boxes around it, and they would all fit. It's not hard to move. It's not hard to accommodate.
yes,
You can just put it somewhere.
yes, but
Yeah.
my counterpoint,
Yeah.
it just doesn't look as cool.
It doesn't look as cool, but
I
that's all
I
right.
honestly, I honestly, I love that the PlayStation 5 is like, fuck it, let's add wings. Because it when I look at it in the TV stand, it looks like kind of a cool, weird art piece. Compare that to both the Xbox and the Steam machine. I've got like two levels on the TV stand. Top has the
Mhm.
PlayStation, bottom has the Xbox and now Steam machine. The bottom is just like, here's a tiny black box, here's a tiny black rectangle. And it's like, oh, okay. Like I could shove those together and they look like one big black box.
Yeah,
The
I'm
PlayStation, at least, it looks, it's got style.
I was going to
It's
say it looks
got an
stylish.
aesthetic. It has like a nice style. Yeah, it's stylish. And like, if I'm gonna put something in a TV stand where people are like looking, that's it. It's a living room. If it's a black box, that's fine for sticking under the desk where no one's gonna look at it. But in the living room, I want something a little bit, I want something that's got some style, which is fair. Why I like the removable faceplate,
Mhm.
because I can put something a little bit more stylish on the Steam machine than just black.
I disagree with you, and I think that it has a style. It's just one is a minimalist aesthetic. Your boyfriend. um, it's a minimalist aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of this in that it is, if you didn't know that it was a steam machine, it would not even register to you. It literally flows into the background of your life. It doesn't come out and scream, "Hi, I'm a game console." I like that I can put it in a corner and I know what it is, and other gamers will know what it is, but somebody else who might not know what a controller, what a Steam machine is, would have no idea what it was. It was just a black box. It could be anything. I like that it does
Yeah,
not draw attention to itself. It's it's quiet, it's minimalist,
it's
it's
boring.
clean, very clean lines. It's not it's elegant as opposed to the PlayStation. You're right. It does look like a piece of modern art. That is good for some things in some places, but it's not my style. I wouldn't have that style of modern art there. I like things that are
Nah. Give me fucking
Danish
wings.
Danish design. Just
Nah.
Danish design.
Nah.
I mean, I bought a
Anyways,
vase. Let me show you. Let me give you an example. I bought a vase. Want to show me like the vase that I
is the
bought?
base the gray? Oh, you the new gray block, Edie?
I am. These are very expensive vases that I bought when I had a lot more money. I bought a set of vases and it was like, these are exactly what I want for my aesthetic.
I mean, there's at least like kind of offset in interesting ways.
Yeah, these are my vases. I love these vases. And this thing fits in with that. PlayStation, not so much. The PlayStation stands out.
Yeah,
And if that works for you in your world, that is great.
I like
But
that.
if you don't want something that stands out and screams, "Hi, I'm a game console," Steam machine.
Yeah.
Let me go
Uh,
put back my
Going
famous
back,
vases back.
AC Wraith said, I think you can export your configuration to use in other games. Yeah, I do think that I can
You can
Uh,
save your configuration.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
save
would
the controller
imagine that you save the
configuration.
configuration because anytime that you're going to be using something that is a controller and mouse type game, you're probably going to want to be referring back to that
Yeah,
configuration.
maybe. Because Root Trees Are Dead was also like a very minimalist mouse and keyboard game, so I don't know how much that will export to others, but the ability is good.
Hmm.
Then he also said, "I don't have a living room or a TV, just a room with two beat up recliners I can watch my phone screen on."
There you go.
Steam
And
Machine's
and
probably not for you.
yeah, yeah,
And then on the
this is your
aesthetics,
grown-up console. This is a grown-up's console as opposed to the PlayStation 5. You put that in the kids' room because the kids,
now the
that's what they
PlayStation
want.
5 is the grown up console. He says, honestly, I think they should have gone with some sort of standard mini PC case instead of going proprietary with so many parts.
I would agree with you and would have agreed with you until I put my hands on it. And I
I
just love the elegance of it.
I've seen a breakdown. I think it was PC Gamer where a guy wanted to like, hey, how easy is it to add memory?
Hmm.
And so he went into it and ended up like taking the entire thing apart. Um, and what he discovered is it is highly unique. Like it is not an
Oh,
off the shelf thing. The parts are like Tetrised together on top of each other. He's like, in order to replace the hard drive, you pop open the thing, like you pop off the back, hard drive is right there. So you can just like pop that out, put in a bigger one, easy to do.
really?
You want anything more than that?
Oh,
You have
like
to.
if I want to add RAM, if I
I
want
think
to
if you
get
want to
another
add RAM,
16 gig stick.
first you gotta take off the hard drive, then you gotta take off something else. It's like then you gotta take off the heat sink, then you gotta take off the other thing. It's like in order to get to piece X, you have to take off piece Y.
Right.
And so he's like, just almost puzzle box esque, where it's like, okay, you're 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 removing one piece in order to get to another piece, in order to get to another piece, in order to get to another piece, in order to get to the RAM. But
Hmm.
that's because they are Tetris together in such a perfect form in order to get that really tiny, perfectly square form factor.
Envelope. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this isn't it is upgradable, but you gotta work for that.
Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
all
you
right.
gotta go in there.
I'm just gonna plug in a hard drive.
And that's fine. And also like you don't need a hard drive because it does take SD cards.
SD cards. Right. I don't want to really and I guess this is left over from when, from Kevin with so many SD cards. Because of course, all of his flights the drone flights, he put on GoPros. GoPros use SD cards.
Mm.
So many SD cards. And I threw away so many SD cards.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
stacks and
You could have
stacks and stacks of them.
that's gold. You
I know
threw away a
now.
gold bar.
Now I threw away a gold bar. Yeah, but now it
Oh,
is.
how good we
But I
had
mean,
it.
I still have, SD cards. I'm still finding them like in stuffed in corners. They're like paper clips in my old place. They're like I pull up the carpet and there's like, up SD cards. I've got lots of SD cards at home. That's not a problem of putting on it. But I'm not a big fan of saving SD cards and putting things on SD cards and leaving them there. I mean, I guess I could get one big one and just leave it inside the machine at all times, but I kind
That's
of
what
like
I'm
the
gonna
idea
do.
of having a hard drive.
I before prices got crazy when I was playing with the Odin emulator.
Hmm.
I got a big terabyte SD card and then eventually got a bigger SD card. But before I got the Steam machine, I went through that and it's like, okay, I'm gonna move all the stuff from this card onto the Odin's hard drive itself. That way I have an empty SD card and I can just plug that into the Steam machine and use it to, you know, for everything. But then I also realized for my purposes of using it as kind of an indie game machine, you can fit a lot of indie games on 500
Hmm.
gig. You can't
Hmm.
fit a lot of AAA games on
No,
500 gig, but you can
no.
fit a lot of indie games.
But that's the thing is that now my life has been opened up to the option of indie games because there are indie games on PlayStation but nowhere near as many indie games as on
No,
PC,
that's
as
also
on
one of the
Steam.
reasons I was really excited to get it is because you and Andrew are both primarily PC gamers. This makes it easier for me to play games with you two
Yeah,
in my living room
yeah,
because now I have a PC in the living room.
yeah. Our social life is going to change considerably.
We are going to play Phasmophobia. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, we are actually, aren't we?
I mean, we could have played it before because it is crossplay, but we're going to play
We're,
this Halloween. This Halloween.
This Halloween, we're playing Phasmophobia. Actually, this
Yeah.
Halloween, we're going to be playing GTA 6.
Yeah, that's probably true.
All
No,
right.
no, because GTA 6 is out in November.
Oh, that's right. It's in November. Like it's in November, not in October. Yeah, we'll play
Yeah.
Phasmophobia until GTA 6 comes out.
If you're playing GTA 6 in on Halloween, Rockstar is going to assassinate you.
Yeah,
they, they
probably.
will they will come for your family.
And no one will stop them. There's nobody in the world that will be able to stop them.
Nope.
So that concludes our review, our early review, our
Yeah.
first look
Oh,
reviews of the Steam machine, and as well
so
as the
you have to give your
big
Discord if
reveal
they're
of the
not game
boxing.
sales. Oh,
What
I
did
guess
you say?
Gamers Nexus has an excellent teardown on the Steam machine, and he says, "Oh,
Yeah,
Edie doesn't pay attention to the links I give her in Discord if they're not game sales."
no,
I guess I didn't see this link either.
I didn't see it. Yeah, but it makes me feel better that it does that gamers. But this is Gamers Nexus. They have all of that stuff stuffed in their big brains. I've moved that off of the hard drive quite some time ago of how to build a PC. So I'm the fact that it is that somebody says it's excellent repairability, that also makes me super happy because that was a concern. And that was one of the concerns on, I forget which podcast I was listening to, is they're like, why would you spend $1,000 on this when you could build your own? And if something breaks, you can replace it easily. You can repair it easily. It's like, well, you can still repair it easily. You
Well,
just have to buy
okay.
you have to buy very specific parts, but then again, you always have to buy very
Also,
specific
I feel
parts.
like now that I have my hands on this machine, saying you can just build one yourself. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, you will not. Even if you take all the stuff off the shelf, you're not going to get something that perfectly formatted at that level of power.
And
Also,
also
it's
with
a lot
that
more work.
level of elegance of usability.
Yes. And
That's what you're
oh,
paying for.
and if something breaks, you can just get it easily. No, you
No,
can't.
you can't.
That's the problem Valve ran into. That's what all consumer electronics have. The issue is if something breaks, you're fucked. If the Steam machine breaks, even if it's under warranty, you ain't getting another one.
No. It'll be a while. So don't drop it. And don't use this as a
Oh, but
carrying
that
case.
does.
Don't
But
use this as a carrying case. In fact, I forgot to bring some more tape because I need to take it back. But yeah, this thing, if you try to hold it, this thing comes out and then it just falls
oh
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it happened to me twice. Fortunately, it fell onto carpeting, but it
Mm.
happened to me twice trying to bring it here. So do not use this as a carrying case unless you tape
It's a
it back
shipping
down.
box, not a carrying box.
It's a and I'm used to using the boxes that it came in, especially if it's got a handle. It kind of wants to say, hey, you can use this as a carrying case. You can, but like I said, you've got to tape that down. Do not pick it up without this tape down because it will fall out. And because of that, it just drops right out onto the floor. And like I said, if you break it, you're not getting another one.
Or
Also, interestingly, it's not perfectly square. Like when you're trying to put it back into the box, there is a
oh,
specific
it's not. There
orientation.
is.
You have to put it in a specific orientation. It'll go that way easily. But if you try to put it in this way, it won't fit.
Huh. Interesting.
So there is an orientation. It looks perfectly square. It is not.
There are already Steam machine carrying cases.
Yeah, there should be. If I, had my 3D, if I was still at my old place and knew how to use the three 3D printers that Kevin left me, I would be making one for myself.
Yeah, it looks like this one by Jasonx, Jasonx. The don't know how to pronounce the name of the website, but that's
JSOX, just Knox, whatever.
JSAUX. But they've got a little box with a strap to keep it in, and then a little strap for the Steam machine controller as well.
Yeah, it's a good deal. That's not a bad, and it is
I I
absolutely portable in that way.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
That's not a bad Christmas present. I'm not gonna lie. Would not mind that at all. So that concludes our Steam machine revealed, Steam controller revealed.
Yeah, all reviews.
If we're gonna give it out of 10, I would give it.
I don't know if I would rate a console. That feels like such a weird thing to do.
It is, and it's certainly early days. But so far, my experience with it has been, I would say, 9.75 out of 10.
That is
It is
bizarrely
exactly
specific.
what I wanted. Well, it's because of that whole because only issue I had with it was that like one time of it not syncing to the cloud. But it is exactly what I hoped it would be. I said that I wanted something that I could sit down and go and be able to just play Steam games on my TV without having to get up or to fiddle or to kind of mess around. That's exactly what it does for me. I was able to launch it. I was able to log in. I was able to turn on television and turn on the machine. I was able to play instantly, and I was able to turn it off and pick this up, go downstairs, turn it on, and start again flawlessly. It is, you are paying for, yeah, you're paying for the technology and you're paying for the components. You're also paying for all the work that they did to make it as elegantly seamless an experience as possible to the height of convenience gaming. That's what this is. These, especially these two, but even just the Rogue Ally. Convenience gaming is what I wanted. Convenience gaming is exactly what I got. And
Yeah,
for that, it is worth the money.
yeah. It for me, it's what I wanted to. I'm
Hmm.
still gonna always use the PlayStation for the high end graphical intensive, big open world games. I'm not gonna play Crimson Desert on the Steam machine. Um, but I'm gonna use it for everything else. I want it for all the indie games. I want it for the mouse and keyboard games that don't have ports. I want it for things like Routine and Subnautica 2 that aren't on PlayStation. Um, and in that regard, being able to play those PC only games, whether they just be only released in early access, whether they be mouse and keyboard games, and to be able to do that on my living room couch
Hmm.
is nice. And to have that interoperability between uh, the handheld and the console, and to do that really easily, that's what I
And to
wanted
have
out
be
of
able
it.
to play co-op games that aren't
Yeah.
cross-platform.
Yes. Yeah. And
That's huge for me.
yeah. If anything, there's like a kind of a weird going back to like the 360 era where, oh, I wanted this because I wanted a PC to play games with my friends who are all on PC, but I also don't want to play on a PC because then I have to go into the office, and I don't want to go into the office.
Or I have to play it on my laptop, and I really don't want to play it on my laptop. How this would have changed, for example, the thing that comes to mind is Baldur's Gate 3. The last thing that they did was cross-platform. The very last thing that they did
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
stopped supporting it or stopped updating it was cross-platform play. And that was something that the users had asked for day one. How this would have changed that entire experience for me if I hadn't had to wait till the end of the, update lifespan to get cross-platform play to play cross-platform with you or
Man,
with
you know
other
what?
people.
I should go back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Because now I can play with my friends, everywhere, all the time, regardless of, I don't have to wait for them to release a cross-platform patch,
Yeah. I
which
mean, you can
may be
also,
soon. It may be the very last thing they do before they walk out the door. You're not at the mercy of the developers and what their time schedules are as far as patches and updates.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's our Steam Machine
yeah.
review. That's
I
our
really
Steam
like it.
Machine controller review. I so far it was more than I wanted to spend, but I could not be happier about it.
Yeah, I reading all the reviews kind of confirmed that it is what I wanted it to be. Because, like I said, I'm not looking to replace the PlayStation. I'm looking to replace the Xbox.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I still want two consoles on the TV stand. Uh, and so
But one of them's not gonna
I got my
you're
high
replacing
end.
one black box for another much smaller black
Yes,
box that's going
I
to be
got
more useful.
I got the high end thing, and then I got the thing for everything else.
Mhm.
And I think now, looking ahead, the ball is kind of in Xbox's court. Can they justify replacing the Steam machine with the Xbox?
I
It'll be
don't think they
interesting to
can.
see. It'll be a big challenge, but that's
What
kind of
if
where they are now.
what
Because,
if
like I said,
Xbox decides to
uh,
go Linux?
the- then hell is frozen over,
Yeah.
and
Well,
Satan has taken over the earth, and he's kind of made it better.
yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So, thank you for listening to that. Now we're actually going to start the regular podcast and get on to the regular podcast because there's a lot we
Oh
have to
yeah, we
talk
haven't
about.
even done the intro song.
We no, because this is going to be a separate thing I'm going to release as a separate podcast, a separate episode. Because like I said, there's a lot of stuff here that isn't necessarily it's good for the an audio podcast, but there's also a lot of show and tell that isn't great
Yeah,
for an audio
yeah.
podcast. So if you're listening to this as the audio podcast and you want to actually see this stuff, it is available on our video podcast that we did like live, our stream, which you can watch anytime on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/the GameHounds. On Twitch, we are twitch.tv/the GameHounds. And on YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, as in videos, all one word. If you want to actually see what we were looking at and see where we were pointing, you know, feel free to come and look at that at any time. And let me invite you to come visit when we do our live streams every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, every Sunday, except for the next two because I'm going to be in New York. So thanks everyone for listening if you are on the audio podcast. And if you are listening to us live right now, please stand by. We're going to start the regular podcast because I have a lot of news to talk about. Not the least of what happened with all of the studio air quote closures with Xbox, the 3,200 jobs lost, additional layoffs at other companies, and I will tell you the saga of selling my 64, my original Steam Deck that is currently on sale on eBay right now. That has been a bit of a wild ride. Let me tell you. I will update you and show you the details. And
Get a white
maybe
Sharpie and sign it, and we can up the price by like $100.
maybe, well, no, I'll probably do some scammer shaming is what I'm going to do because
Mm.
oh boy, did they come out of the woodwork for this one. So keep you posted, stand by, and thanks so much for listening. And we will talk to you podcast people later. If you're watching live, don't move. We're just going to start the regular show. All right, let me start music. We can do the regular podcast. And then we will talk about, stuff. Let me get rid of that banner real quick. There we go. And what are you looking for?
I was just like, I'm gonna go, but
No,
you're
you have
taking
to
a
count me
while.
down. You have to go
Oh
5, 4, 3.
no, it's 5, 4.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths.
Fuck you.
If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Officially my favorite start of any episode ever in the history of GameHounds. You're listening to GameHounds episode 826. We are recording this on Sunday, July 12th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is the Mr. Potty Mouth, Nick DiNicola.
We're
oh my God.
It's a punchy day.
Yeah. All right, so we just got finished with the revealing the Steam Deck or the Steam Machine that both Nick and I got this week. We won't go into it. If you haven't listened to it, we are releasing that as a separate audio podcast episode, so you don't have to like sit there and listen to us going and see this thing here and see this thing here and let me turn it around. See this here? It's kind of maybe your cup of tea if you're really interested in all the information. We talked for what?
Yeah, about
40 minutes. Yeah, about an hour, and did a show and tell. So if you want to go back and listen to that separately, that's fine. You don't have to. We just didn't want to bore you if you didn't want to sit through an hour of us pointing and talking about stuff you couldn't see. So let's get into, first off, games.
Yes.
I mentioned it when it was one of the, there's two things that I downloaded to test out the
Need
Steam
to talk
Machine.
about the games again for focus on the gameplay now.
Yeah, we actually focus on the gameplay. So I played 2 games. Well, do you want to hear about the game review or do you want to hear about the saga?
Oh, yeah.
I'll make it a short saga. I'll give you the short version of what's going on with the selling of the old Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I am selling my old Steam Deck. That was the original LCD one, not the OLED one that I bought to replace it when I thought I lost it and then found it as soon as I ordered the new one. So I had 2 Steam Decks. It was kind of the running joke because I bought, and I got to give credit to that Steam Machine, because I bought that Steam Machine and it was more money than I wanted to spend. It really inspired me on Monday morning last week. I got to sell this Steam Deck to offset the cost of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on and I put it on eBay. And I set it with a reserve price. I can say what the reserve price is now because it's still technically up and the auction is running. I put it a reserve price of $375 with a buy it now of $425 based on what I was seeing other things go for that price. It was a little $425 is about, $410 is what I was seeing it have like the past sales go for. So it's like, yeah, if you want to pay me an extra $15, that's fine. Now, my out the door price when I bought that thing was $427. So,
so yeah,
I'm not making money on it. I'm cracking even if they buy the breaking even. But then
which is like crazy for an electronic that is what, 4 years old?
2022, yeah, November of 2022.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm still losing a little money because I had a reserve price on the auction that eBay charges you for that. So that cost me $32 to have that auction. So I'm not, totally breaking even on that, but I mean, it's enough where I feel I'm not mad about it. So, I started the auction and I got to the reserve price, but before I think I set it for $200 as the initial first bid with a reserve of $375. And within a day or two, I had somebody, it was actually already at it wasn't at 375. I think that the bid was at that point 290. Now I've done it so the buyer pays the shipping.
Yeah, that's what most of them do.
Scammer number 1. So there's many different levels of condition of these Steam Decks out right now. Many of them are parts only. The parts only ones are selling for $250 to $300 to $275. Scammer 1 texts me, messages me through eBay and says, I'll give you $250 for it right now, and I'll pay the shipping. And I'm like, if you want it right now, it's $425. That's the buy it now price, and you pay his shipping anyway.
Yeah.
$250 is less than what the broken ones are for. So I just replied, no. And I would try to be nice to buyers and say, no, there is a buy it now price of $425. I'm willing to accept that if you want me to take it off. That was, all right, I'll give you credit. You're trying. You're not very smart about trying. You were insulting my intelligence by that try. Should I bring up my eBay page so that you can see this latest one that I'm working on that happened in the last 24 hours?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think I should.
Yeah, okay.
This one is really takes the cake. Yeah, is there anything on this page that would, no, it doesn't compromise me at all. All right, I am going to
This is
show
just the
you on the
auction
screen.
page, right? The
It's
sales
just
page.
it's my messages page to
Okay,
a particular person who messaged me late last night.
Then at least
And
someone will see your account name.
yeah, someone will see. They'll just see my first name, but everybody knows I'm Edie, so that's fine. That's not that
Okay.
big a deal. Let me get to a share screen of my messages, eBay messages. Yeah, this is the one that I got to say. I wouldn't be publicly shaming this person until this morning when I was driving to the over to the apartment to do this show, and I got a message from him that made me laugh so hard I almost like left my lane. We're in the car. So here it is. I don't know. Can you see it? No,
Not yet. I see you. You have it up on there.
There we go. All right. So here it is. He says, where are you located? Well, all right. I was being nice to him because it says on the page, on the Steam, the actual listing, it says that it's coming from Redwood City, California.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and how long will the shipping be? Also, right under that listing on that page, it says estimated shipping time to your location is whatever it would be, because it knows where I am, it knows where the buyer is, and it gives you an estimate. But I was being nice, and I said, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. Time is dependent on where you are. But I will ship out the day the auction closes and I get notification from eBay payment is made. Also, the estimated delivery date is in the listing, so if you want to know when it should arrive, please check the listing on your page. eBay shows estimated delivery date from my location to where you are. As I said, it will be mailed the same day that payment is confirmed by eBay and I get the notification. And this was this morning at 6:52 a.m. Question: can I get your phone number so I can call you in person? Me, 8:53. Absolutely not. But I'd be happy to answer any question you have here. Would you be able for me to get it for free so I can sponsor you on TikToking's YouTube so that I can get a lot of money through me helping you and getting a good review on your product? Would it be possible? If not, it's okay. And I just wrote, no. Sorry. Yeah,
I mean, you know what? I'm impressed. Like just that. Okay, I see.
And it's already at 375, and it clearly says that the reserve has been met.
But counterpoint, can I get it for free?
But can I get it for free?
Yeah. I'll say nice things about you.
I'll say nice things about you on TikTok and YouTube.
Yes. No, on TikToking in YouTube.
And TikToking YouTube. I kind of almost wanted to send him a message saying, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no. And by asking this, I will be saying nice things about you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Here's the link to my podcast that's about to go live in 20 minutes. You will be featured.
I mean, hey, they shot their shot.
Can I get your phone number? Absolutely not.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the hustle, right? I'm sure they're on every listing saying, "Hey, can I get it for free?"
Can I get it for free? I just, yeah. That I guess this is just the life of somebody that posts stuff, posts interesting things on YouTube, but
Yeah.
on,
Oh,
on
like look,
eBay. But
or like maybe they're just a 13-year-old kid that has no money, and they're like,
mhm,
"I've got no money, but I got a lot of time. I'm just gonna try
mm-mm,
to get a
mm-mm.
Steam Deck for free."
Yeah. AC Ray says I was way behind in the stream. I only figured out because I took the phone into the bathroom to try keeping up. Really? I mean, I take you guys into the bathroom all the time, so you know that. But I turn off my microphone at least. At least so far so good. I haven't pulled a Leslie Nielsen yet.
Thank God. From what was it just came out this year.
Police Academy.
Yes, Police Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you keep eating those?
So yeah, that is the saga of the
Yeah.
selling of the Steam Deck. Just in case you're interested, to be honest, the current price, and I'll stick it up here because you know me. Um, I will go to the listing. Just in case you're interested, that's me. I don't think that should be my price. At $375 is a really good price for this. Based
Mm-hmm.
on what other ones are selling for, I mean, you can see what other ones 450, you know, this is parts only is 267. This one is 400. So this is a really good price. Now, will it stay that way? Don't know. But if you are interested in bidding, feel free to look for this listing right here. And
I'm
yeah, that is me.
yeah, I still need to sell the
Oh,
base
wait, hold on a second.
PS5.
You're on the wrong screen. Sorry. Let me.
What?
It opened it up in a new thing, so you can see it. Here we go.
No, I'm still looking at the eBay
There we go.
page.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that. Okay.
There it is. There's the listing for me, and $375 is a very good price for this.
It's actually a
It is.
really good price. How much are those going for now?
They're going. That's what I'm saying. I was showing down here. They're going for, they're uh the parts only ones are going for $267.
Yeah, but like
450, 400. Uh, this is uh 375, but it's in the same position. It's also
yeah,
a
3
thing.
days.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, with 3
So
days left, I
these
would
are
expect that to get over 400.
exactly. And this is 1 day left. This is going tomorrow after tomorrow. It's actually sent this time tomorrow. So if you're
Okay.
interested in getting a really good deal on this one, just
Which
look
is
for this
also
one. And
crazy.
this is my username right here. Feel free to, go to my eBay user. It's fine. But yeah,
The
it's a good one.
512 gig OLED Steam Deck now is like $800.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know how many times it got used. It got used like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Got my original thing, and that's it
I
right
guess
there.
okay, a refreshed 512 LCD is about 350.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
350
need
from
to
from from
eBay.
eBay.
No, I'm just looking at Google.
Oh, okay.
I need to sell the
Oh, those are
PS5, the base
refreshed. So
PS5.
those are broken and then redone. Whereas this one
They're
is like
refurbished, but the
those are
refurbished is
refurbished.
like it's still from the manufacturer.
Yeah, but if you've ever gotten something refurbished, just because it's refurbished doesn't necessarily mean it works. I've gotten numerous things from
I've
places that have been quote unquote refurbished, but what it was is they took it in, they turned it on, they didn't find the problem, and then they said clear. And,
mhm.
then only, a month down the way, it's broken
I
again,
bought a couple
and
of
you have to go to
refurbished
it.
things. I've usually had a good experience.
It all depends on the company. It all depends on the company.
Mm.
I don't know what Valve does as far as testing is concerned. If it gets something, if it like says, oh, it has this problem and they can't immediately duplicate it, whether they actually go through and do something or not. Okay, my stuff is
Yeah,
on the way.
I still need to buy to sell the PS5, and looking at eBay, I could probably, especially if maybe I hang on to it until like Sony raises the prices again, I
Mhm.
could probably sell that thing for more than I bought it for.
You might be able to do that. But
Oh, yes, I see where it says Leslie Nielsen was a naked gun, not police
sorry,
academy.
Naked Gun. Not you're right, Naked Gun. My bad.
Yes.
Um,
But okay, you played. I want to know how you liked
oh
Cult of the Lamb.
yes, Cult of the Lamb. So that was one of the 2 games that I tested on the Steam machine to check the cross play between that and the Steam Deck. Damn, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
God damn, that's a fun game. It is it is so much better than it has any right to be. Um, I I think my one frustration is that I wanted to make a really fucked up cult, but when I came to creating the doctrines for my cult, I couldn't bring myself to do the fucked up things to make it fucked up.
Mm, did you ever have
Um,
a sex orgy?
we have not had sex orgies yet.
Mm,
Um, I'm still, I'm slow playing it. But it is a perfect balance of a brawler type game, a dungeon crawler type game, and a base building game. It is the base building is I get, I get that cozy feeling from the base building part
yeah.
that I crave, but at the same time, it's like going out and getting resources requires you to actually crawl through the quote unquote dungeon, and um the actual combat is fun as hell, and it
Yeah.
it gets better as you go along because of course you get more abilities, you get more features that they you start off with just a weapon, and then you get a weapon and an ability, and then you get a weapon and a one-time ability that you can use, and they as you go through the dungeon, those can you can change them out to get opportunity to change them out. Then you've got these tarot cards, which the more of them that you get, 4 of them come available to you, and those are the
Yeah.
cards that you get to use that are actually apply to you, which give you boosts or perks. Later on, you can create demons, like take a follower and create them to give them a temporary demon status, and they come into the dungeon with you. And that they add abilities, whether it be extra health or do more damage, or they can actually shoot stuff, or they can, all these other little perks. It just, it is so freaking fun. And it hits exactly right on so many different kind of craving levels, whether it be the fighting game, whether it be the story saga, because there is a story in it,
Yeah.
whether it be the cozy base building game, whether it be the I want to make something really fucked up. I want to sacrifice. I want to make a follower eat a stew from other dead followers. It
Mm.
it does it
Or
all.
or like, you know what? I couldn't find any meat, so people, you're gonna have to eat shit.
Right, you have to eat a
Literally.
bowl of poop, or having a follower come up to you saying, "Oh, savior, if you know what I've always wanted? I've always wanted to eat poo. Can you make me a bowl of poo?" And then you
Yeah.
get like he's like, "Oh, thank you, yummy, yummy." It's like, Jesus, this is fucked up.
Or the guys who are like, I don't know if I believe in you. And you go, okay. To the what's the thing called that they stick you in?
Stocks, the
Stocks.
stocks,
To the stocks.
and you leave them there, and you're like, I felt bad. I put them in the stocks, and I'm like it's officially called a prison, but it's stocks.
Mhm.
I put him in there, and I'm like, I feel really bad, and I'm re-educating him. He doesn't seem to be getting better, so I just let him go because I felt bad. And then he was starting to make other people unhappy. So it's like, okay, back in
Mm.
the stocks. And he's like, you know what? I'll just let you die. And eventually, I walked up to him to re-educate him. You get to re-educate once a day. And I run up to re-educate him. And one day he's like, I'm re-educated now. I'm like, oh, so I really need to make you suffer in order for you to see the light. Good to know.
Mhm.
I was trying to do it the nice way by trying to re-educate you without putting you in the stocks. Then I put you in the stocks and tried to re-educate you, and it took you a good long time, but eventually you figured it out. It, and there's also a dice game that you can go to somebody else off of, in a
Oh
different
yeah.
location
Yeah.
and play that dice game. That dice game is fun as hell. Just it's such a well-made game. and it hits
Yeah.
on so many levels that I could absolutely see myself playing this for a very, very long time. And I'm looking forward to getting the end of it, even though I'm very much slow playing it. I'm looking forward to getting the end of it so I can start over and start a different cult and make different choices
Yeah, and I
about
think
that cult. Make
they
slightly more fucked up choices because
I
I
think
was a
they've
little afraid to make fucked up choices early on.
they've added enough DLC that I think even once you get to the end, you can kind of keep playing in like a uh not new game plus, but like an endless mode.
Mm-hmm. I can see it. But boy, is that a fun ass game. And it works
Yeah.
great on the Steam. The reason I picked it was because I went through the list of Steam, because as you know, I bought 2 games last time on your guys' recommendation, but they weren't optimized for the Steam Deck, and they kind
Yeah.
of require a keyboard. I don't know how far, I haven't looked very much farther into it. I needed to deep dive a little more to see how much the actual gameplay was required or if it was just the keyboard was necessary with the initial setup. But I thought, let's just look at the list of games that are optimized for Steam or are great on Steam Deck. And I saw Cult of the Lamb come up on the list, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember Nick loved that game, and it sounded really cool.
Yeah.
You can kind of make your own cult. And I thought, oh, okay, I could, yeah, I'll buy it. It was on sale for the Steam summer
Yeah.
sale. I'm like, this is a little more expensive than I wanted to spend, but I know that this is going to be a good game. I'll give it a shot. I feel really good about this because I was interested in it when Nick first mentioned it. So I know it's not, I'm probably not going to hate it
Yeah.
instantly. Instantly loved it.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm. So, I
We need
know
to
it's an
spread
older
the
game.
word. Let's spread the word. Let's make a cult around Cult of the
Call it the
Lamb.
Cult of the Round, the Cult of the Lamb. It's, I'm coming to it late because this was released a year and a half ago. A long time ago. It's
No,
been
like I
out for a
mean,
long time.
yeah, I came to it late because when I came to it, they had like all of the orgy DLC.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Oh,
even
that's
I came
DLC,
to
his
it late.
RGD's DLC.
Yeah, because like I got the special edition or like the edition that comes with the DLC.
Yeah, I
But
don't think I got that one. Maybe I
when did
did.
it last come out?
It's been out for a long time.
Cult of the Lamb came out in 2022.
Wow. So it's 4 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
it, so yeah, I'm late to the party on this one. But if you haven't played Cult of the Lamb, play Cult of the Lamb. And AC Wraith, no first person. No, it's all
Yeah.
type top down isometric. And it's a good one. It's a really good one. So the other one that I played, and I'm not gonna even mention it as a review because all I did
Oh
was
no, I
go in and look at it was a sort of Onimusha demo,
okay.
and you guys already
So
talked about it.
wait, I will say the looking at the Wikipedia page, the Sins of the Flesh was just a post-release update. There was a bunch of other cosmetic DLCs, but I
Mm-hmm.
think there was a Blood Moon Festival update, Relics of the Old Faith, which added a post-game storyline. Uh,
Okay.
Sins of the Flesh added a sin mechanic, more doctrines, and Unholy Alliance added 2-player co-op.
Yes. So I do have co-op available on it.
Okay, yeah, then you probably got everything.
Yeah. So, and I saw that there was a list under there for sins of like structures you could make that were sin structures, but I haven't found any yet. So yeah, I guess I do have it all.
Oh yeah, yeah. He says, "Do not start over. You get the option to change your build as an end game reward."
Oh, good to know. Thank you. Oh, I guess you have played it. Yeah, love that
Yeah,
game.
he
Love that
watched
game.
he watched Nakateli,
Nakatili, Talili. All right. Well, it's a really good game. It's a good game. Go pick it up if you haven't played it. All right. So what did you play? Root Trees Are Dead. We talked about that.
Yes. So this is a. Oh wait, you played Onimusha demo. Did you
I
play
did.
through the game, or did you just like?
No. I just
Okay.
went in, looked at it, and then ran screaming back to Cult of the Lamb.
Okay. Root Trees Are Dead is a detective game in the style of like Her Story, The Case of the Golden Idol, The Curse of the Golden Idol, and Return of the Obra Dinn. And this has kind of like emerged as a specific subgenre of detective game where you're given a large group of people and you're told to identify them. And so
Mhm.
you have to go through, maybe explore an environment, maybe explore a database. And as you're exploring these areas, you're getting little bits of information about each of the people. Some are easier to identify than others. But as you fill in that information, like, okay, this guy is named Tim and he's a longshoreman. If you get a number of those identifications correct, the game locks them in and says, yes, these are correct. Good job. Go discover someone else. And so over time, as you follow various threads of evidence, you're able to lock in more people and eventually you kind of identify the whole group of people. Root Trees Are Dead, I think, has the unfortunate situation of being a good game in a genre filled with great games. Because all the games I mentioned, Her Story is a little different from all these, but Her Story was kind of the first game that I think really did this kind of structure. That game is just an absolute masterpiece. Return of the Obra Dinn is just a stylistic, as all hell, great deduction game. Case of the Golden Idol and Curse of the Golden Idol are also just excellent, weird, moody pieces. This game is just good. And I think what kind of holds it back is the premise itself. So the Root Trees are a family of like candy moguls. And the game opens with there being a plane crash and the main like Root Tree family dies. So you've got like these three fashion model sisters, the mom and the dad, who's the president of the Root Tree Corporation at the moment. So the plane crashes, the Root Trees are dead, and someone comes to your door saying, hey, I want you to fill in this family tree. I'll tell you why later. And so you kind of start filling out the family tree, but you do that by searching the internet. And this takes place in like 1998, which I think is important because this game has a very particular vision of the internet that is no longer true. And I also don't think it was ever true, but it
Mhm.
leads to a lot of the frustration in that instead of all these other games, in Her Story, I'm searching one database of clips to try to solve the mystery. In Obra Dinn and the Golden Idol games, I'm searching the environment to try to discover information. So I'm looking through a relatively limited space. You need that limited space. But in this game, the premise is I'm searching the internet. So what happens is you'll go to a search engine and you'll type in Gwen Root Tree, and it will give you what is essentially a summary of the search results. It won't give you the actual search results. It just gives you a summary of the search results. And so I'm looking up information about this famous actress, and it gives me like 2 paragraphs of information. And I think, well, no, wait a minute. This is the internet. Like, why I need to know who she got married and divorced from. She's a famous actress. Why is that information so hard to find? That should just be like on the front page of the results.
Right.
Oh, this famous actress got
It
married,
should be a
got
Wikipedia.
divorced.
It's
Yeah,
not Wikipedia.
it's not. What you end
It's
up having
AI.
to do,
This is a game showing you the failures of AI in that
it
it's giving
kind of
you
is.
what
It
you not the actual results and information that you're finding, it's what it deems necessary for you to know.
it's only AI search summaries, which
Yeah.
feels
Oh.
insulting to the game because it's not. But so, like right here, it says you find some information on a website about old films. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken. It's like, well, duh. But what that means is there are different databases. So you have a spider search, which is basically Google, and that searches the internet. You have a public library search where you can search for specific books. You have a periodical search that allows you to search in specific magazines. But what that means is I have to find those magazines. So if I want to look up who this famous actress got divorced from, first I have to find a like a Hollywood gossip magazine, and then that magazine will get added to periodicals. Then I have to take her name and put it into the periodical database to try to find, oh, who were her co-stars. Then I can take her co-star's name, put it into the periodical database. But I have to put it into the Hollywood gossip periodical. If I put it into the business periodical, I'll get no results. And so because the whole deduction is split up into these different databases, it just creates a lot of busy work. So instead of taking, like, one of the first things is I need to find a picture of Carl Roottree, who is the modern day current president who died in a plane crash. I Google his name. I don't get a picture. I'm like, well,
Sorry,
ha-
I don't understand.
oh my God. I triggered Google. Shut up. No, turn off. Okay. But it's like, why is it so hard to get a picture of him? And so I spent hours not having a picture of him. And eventually there is a nice hint system in the game, to be fair. But the hint was like, oh, search for Carl Roottree in the business periodical. And I thought, oh, God damn it, fuck you. I searched his name on the search engine, and when it said no results, I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's no results. But the busy work is if you have a keyword, you have to put that into like 5 different databases in order to really fully flesh out your search. But I'm not thinking that. And so I'll get a keyword, I'll put it into the internet search, and when it says no results, my first instinct isn't to search all the periodical databases. It's okay, there's no information about this. And that's just an unfortunate result of the game. The premise of the game has you searching the internet. And so it has to find a way to
Limit
limit
the
the
space.
information that you're working with.
Right.
But that goes against the very premise. And solving the mystery itself is satisfying, like all of these games are. There's an inherent satisfaction in, searching for someone's identity and slowly uncovering it. Like, yes, that's satisfying. That's what makes this a good game. But I said all those other games are just better. And this kind of has the unfortunate situation of all of its peers are just more elegantly done. The premise and the setting and the context fit the deduction model better than this game does. And so by the end, when I kept hitting walls in the deduction and I would go for a hint, and the hint was search this database. Oh, I had the right keyword, but I didn't search the right database. I just kind of got more and more annoyed. Like, God damn it, fuck you. I was on the right track, but I can feel the hand of the developer coming in and going, I don't want to make things too easy for you. So I'm just going to take this important piece of information and I'm going to put it over here instead of in the more easier to find location. And like I said, it's just not an elegantly constructed. This doesn't have the elegant construction of those other games. So while it's satisfying to fill in all the information and the mystery is interesting, even though you start there, actually, now that I think about it, there isn't really a mystery. It starts with a plane crash, but there is no foul play involved in the plane crash. You're just filling out the family tree and kind of learning the family history, but there is no real overarching story to the family history. Again, like there is in Oprah Din and Golden Idol and her story. And so, like I said, compared to all those other games, this one is like, you're good, but there are so many better versions of this type of game out there. I've also heard good things about like something at Blythe Manor, like the seance at Blythe Manor, and I want to try that one. I bought both of these during the Steam sale because I like this type of game. And yeah, it was a great test case for the Steam machine. But unfortunately, the game itself starts well and then just kind of gets more annoying as I kind of see the structure and realize that, oh, all this busy work of hiding things and splitting information across multiple databases just kind of makes it harder to discover things than it needs to be. It's just like an added obstacle that doesn't need to be there. So, yeah, as good game, but there are much better things out there. I ended up being kind of disappointed and annoyed at the end of this.
Um, Andy Shao writes in the chat, and by the way, thank you. If you have any recommendations for places to eat at
Oh,
or things
yeah.
to do in New York City or Philadelphia, because I'm 2 days in New York, 2 days in Philadelphia, and 3 days back in New York, because I'm going to the Yankees game, then I'm going to the Phillies game, then I'm going to the Mets game. Andy Shao said, "Hey Edie, I've got a good recommendation from you when you're in New York. Our biggest Chinatown is one stop away from Citi Field. You should check out Szechuan Mountain House." And here's the link for it. Yeah, hey, long time no see. I know, Andy. I
That
saw
looks
your
like
name and it's
really
like, is that him really? Or is somebody like cosplaying Andy? Because I haven't seen you in a really, really long time. So yeah, welcome back. We missed you. And yes, I do remember you. Of course I do. But yeah,
Szechuan
Szechuan
Mountain
Mountain House.
House.
So, okay. Trying to get those two to eat anything that's unusual is
It sounds like Chinese food. Do they not like Chinese food? Don't answer
they
that. Don't answer that question because then I might have to hate them. I don't want to hate them.
they like Chinese food, but they're very specific on things. Like Claire has an issue with chunks of meat because she doesn't like the texture. And Claire and Chris won't touch anything that is green. Like I will make meatballs and he'll see parsley in the meatballs and he's like, "What's these green things?" I'm like, "Herbs? It's just spices, Chris. It's just a spice." So, and he'll literally eat all the meat around the piece of parsley. Oh, he has a hate
Okay,
on.
so no edamame.
Oh no, but we've gone like I've gotten him to go to a sushi place and he
Yeah.
has chicken teriyaki. That's what he has. That's all he
Okay.
does.
Look, sweet and sour chicken. It's
Yeah,
boneless.
sweet and sour chicken.
It's
Right. She loves sweet and sour chicken. She loves lemon chicken, but frequently she's like, it's really good sauce, but the texture. So
hmm.
I'm just gonna do my best to lean in and be like, okay, I've just ordered way too much food and I'm gonna eat it all.
Look,
That's fine.
you order a bunch of food, and then you have leftovers to take with you to Jack in the
Yeah.
Box
Yeah, and
for
and
them.
he wants to hit like the very, I don't want to say touristy, but he wants to hit like the because this is also her first time in New York.
Mhm.
So, like he wants to go to the Second Avenue Deli. He
Okay.
wants to go to like the standards, like the famous New York places to go, the very New York places to go. And I'm like, I heard that this little place is like 2 blocks away from the hotel and it's supposedly really, really good. And it's like, well, no, no, we're not doing that. We're going to go to this
Wants to
place
go to
because this is famous.
yeah, the famous New York
The
places, not necessarily
famous
the best
places.
places.
Right, exactly. Katz's, exactly. He wants to go to Katz's.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's an authentic place,
This
so
is an authentic place.
no orange chicken. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. That might have
That's
some
all
issue
right.
then.
All right. They, if they have an egg roll, the girl is fine. He
Okay.
won't be fine because, of course, that's got cabbage in it, and that's green.
What
If
if
it
what if he
comes out of
just
the ground, he doesn't want it.
what if he just doesn't look at it? What if you just
I've
blindfold
I've
him?
tried. Well, he's not watching, so I can say. So once I made a spaghetti sauce, and I like to make my spaghetti sauce with flavor. So one of my things I love to put in spaghetti sauce is mushrooms because it adds that richness,
Hmm.
that meaty umami flavor. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
mushroom is. It's by definition, it's like the definition of umami is that meatiness. But he had absolutely won't even be in the same room as a mushroom. So I minced up mushrooms as small as I possibly could and put that into the meat sauce. And he asks, "Is there anything?" The first thing he says, "Is there anything funny in it?" That's his answer. Are there any funny? His patented words. Are there any funny bits in this? And I was gonna say, I hate lying. I hate lying. But I said nope. And both of them are like, "This pasta sauce is really good." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." It's just, it's just out of the bottle, and I just added a few more spices. Well, what kind of spices? Like a little extra salt, a little extra pepper, maybe some thyme. Okay.
But
I did
thyme is
not
green.
mention. I did right. Like he was like, thyme, but it's like it's just a spice, Chris. It's a dried leaf. It's fine.
But if
It's
it tastes
not
good, why does it matter?
right.
Like
He
like normally if you get to the this tastes good, then what's in it shouldn't matter.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know. I know. But and I did not mention that one of the things that made it especially delicious was minced sautéed mushrooms that I, put in there and then, cooked so that it was no longer identifiable as mushrooms.
Okay, so now all they ask and whenever you have pasta, are they like, Edie, can you make your special pasta sauce? It was really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Katz's Lindustry is probably the most popular pizza joint right now. Andy Shez and Scars Pizza. Okay. Because that's the one thing that we can't agree on in pizza. Because I like Grimaldi's Pizza in the Bronx. That's by far no Brooklyn. I think it's Grimaldi's. That's good pizza. But if we have a recommendation for a pizza place, I can, because Chris has had Grimaldi's Pizza and says it wasn't that great. I'm like,
Okay.
really? I thought
We
it was
got two
fucking
pizza places
fantastic
here
pizza.
now.
Yeah.
And pizza seems to be like a food type everyone can agree
Yeah,
on.
we can't leave without having pastrami. We can't leave without having brisket. We can't have without having hot dog. We can't leave without having pizza.
Okay.
Those are things that we must have before we leave. When we go to Philadelphia, we have got to have a cheesesteak. I
Okay.
mean, essentially when I said, "What do you want to do?" the thing that they did was rattle off the foods that they want to try.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Okay, I can work with that." But now I have to find these places. I'm like, "Well, there's a place right near us, nearest place for that." And it's like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope. If we're going to go to pastrami, we're going to go to Second Avenue Deli." It's like, "Okay. Well, Second Avenue Deli is like all the way across town from us." It's like, okay. All right, then I guess we're taking a lot of subways and we're going to have to make a couple transfers. Oh, no, 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 we're not transferring. We'll just take a taxi. I'm like, okay. Yeah, there we go. Grimaldi's Pizza. That is the best pizza I've ever had.
I
Bar none.
haven't been there.
Yeah, that was actually recommended to us by a horse-drawn carriage driver in Central Park. And Kevin and I were like, "Do we really want to trust this guy?" And it's like, "No, we'll do it." So we went all the way out to Brooklyn and we're like standing in line for Grimaldi's Pizza. And I'm like, in San Francisco, if you've got a bunch of tourists standing in line, guaranteed it is not good. And we got
Hmm.
in there, we finally sat down, and it was something like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night before we finally sat down and got that pizza and we had it. And all of a sudden, Kevin and I looked at each other. We had one bite, looked at each other and said, "Now I get it. Now I get it. This is fucking fantastic pizza." Like you don't understand how good pizza can be until you've had really good New York pizza, and Grimaldi's pizza is really good pizza.
You should take something that he likes, put green food coloring on it.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Man, no. I'm setting myself up for more misery. The best that I can do is sneak stuff into his food. And when I say to him, you should eat a vegetable sometime, and he's like, "No, I take a pill that's equivalent to 10
Oh
pounds of
my god.
broccoli a day." That's his answer.
Okay.
He'll either die young or live longer than any of us with a smug look on
Yeah,
his fucking
right.
face. Is what it's
Right.
gonna be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Root
Used
Tree's
to be a
dead.
few
Not gonna do it.
Grimaldis around the city, but they closed them all. The original in Brooklyn is the only
Yeah.
one left.
Yeah, and that was the one I went to, and it was well worth standing in line for an hour with Kevin and me just looking at each other like, are we joking? Are we going to do this? Are we really going to do this? I mean, we've been here for 45 minutes. It's like, we've already been here for 45 minutes. What else are we going to eat? It's like, well, okay. It At that point, it was going to be very hard to impress us. And as soon as
Yeah.
we had a bite, we're like, that was worth the wait. That was
Okay.
worth the trip. It
Good.
was worth the long trip to get here. It was worth the long standing in line. That pizza was amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Every restaurant I love closes.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants around here that the boyfriend and the girl child loved are all closed. There's a breakfast place in the area that closed over the pandemic that was
Mm,
wherever we go, they mention Mimi's. It's a requirement. If
I
we
think
go
I've
out
heard
to
of
breakfast,
Mimi's.
apparently it was fantastic. And, it closed during the pandemic. It didn't survive,
Mm.
which is a shame. All right, moving on. Anything else we want to talk about before we move on
Yes.
to news?
No, that was all that I played. There's by the time we get back, I'll have a lot more games to talk about. There's a
Oh yeah.
Netflix game that I want to play. That's like a choose your own adventure, 40-minute long game where like a killer appears in a girl's apartment and you have to help her escape. It's got Zoe Kravitz and Sadie Sink doing the voices. And it's like, okay, 40-minute long, like episode long, choose your own adventure little thriller.
Is it on the iPhone or is it? I mean, it's a Netflix game.
You start it on the TV, and then you have to use a QR code to activate the controller on your phone. But
So
I
you play
looked
it
for
on your TV, but
you play it. Yes,
you play it
I
on your
looked
TV
for
and
it.
phone.
I looked for it on the phone, not available on the phone, only available on the TV app.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I'm down for that. I may try and play that this week. I was thinking that would be great to be playing on the trip, but no, obviously not. But I may try and do that tonight. That sounds kind of
Yeah.
fun. All right.
Then I got a bunch
On
of other things, but we can get to
that
news.
note, oh yeah, in another, news that before we hit the news, actually, it's probably something I should have said. So, Friday, my Friday, in addition to picking up the Steam Deck, the reason why I didn't pick it up Thursday is I was busy cleansing because Friday morning I went to the Scope Up Your Asphologist.
Ah, pleasant.
I had a colonoscopy. So when you saw me, I was freshly off of general anesthesia. I sort of barely remember picking that up from you. I remember coming in, I remember seeing you. I remember seeing Rachel, but I really don't remember anything we talked about.
We didn't talk
'Cause
about much. You came in and picked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I got picked up by the boyfriend from the hospital after the colonoscopy, freshly woken up. I mean, by the time I talked to you, I was less than an hour out of general anesthesia. And then picked up the girl child from a sleepover, and then stopped on the way to pick up you, and then had the Steam Deck. And I can't believe I stayed awake to play with the Steam Deck because
You seemed impressively sober and like in it when you came
that's what
over.
general anesthesia does. It's the truth serum. It's really the truth serum.
Mm.
I'm freshly woken up, like less than 2 or 3 minutes from being dead asleep, rolled back to recovery, and waking up as they're rolling me into my spot. And they're calling Chris to come pick me up. And it's like, okay, I'm going to call Chris in with instructions. She's sitting next to me. And I was like, okay, well, the instructions, you want to go really slow because Chris, he doesn't, you might want to say it twice because he just doesn't listen to shit. And I'm like, and as that's coming out of my mouth, I'm starting to sober up even a little bit more. And I realize, wow, did I just say that out loud? And she goes, yeah, anesthesia is the truth serum. It really, really is. I'm like, yeah, you might want to like repeat it twice if you've got post-op instructions because he doesn't listen very well.
Oh, we got a last rec before Indy hops off. McSorley's is pretty cool. It's the oldest bar in New York and cash only.
Oh, all right then. That
Walk into a
sounds
time
well.
warp.
It's a little tough because we're with a 15-year-old girl.
She can just wait outside. That's fine, right?
No, I'm not going to leave her out on the street in New York City. Although I think that that would be a really good thing for her as far as character building, I think that her father would not be okay with that. But that's why I don't have children. This is why I don't have children. Is I think that if my parents left me on the street at 15 years old in New York City, I would have been like, "Fuck yeah!" But she's not that kind. She's not that kind of 15-year-old.
AC Wraith also said, the place that I got wings and nachos at every birthday closed, and the building remains on my block haunting me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, apparently the bar is next to NYU. She can do a
Well,
campus tour.
we have talked about, I mean, we're at the point where we're trying to get her excited about the idea of maybe going to college. Like yesterday, we did do a campus tour of Berkeley when I went up to Cal Berkeley and walked around Cal Berkeley a little bit so that she could see what, a real university looks like. I mean, she's been to Stanford a lot, but she's never like walked Stanford from the point of view of looking at it as, oh, I might go to this school here.
Yeah.
And so that was like the first campus tour of her walking through going, like, hey, here's what the campus looked like, and here's where this is, and up there is this, and then this is the building that they do physical sciences, and then this is the building where they have accounting, and this is Sproul Plaza, and this is Sather Gate, and there's the pub. So yeah, I think NYU, we did talk about maybe walking her around NYU. So if it's near NYU, I might dip in. We'll see. Or I might just run out there by myself after the World Cup game.
Oh yeah, that would probably be a good place to watch it from.
Although it's gonna be, it's probably, I mean, here's what I hate about this year's World Cup is that it looked so promising. The thing I love about World Cups is that the possibility of an upset, of somebody being in the final that hasn't been in the final in the last 30 years and they're living a Cinderella story dream. I wanted that. Right now it's down to 4. England, Argentina, Spain, and France. Spain, France, Argentina. It's like, this is just like another night, another weekend for them. They win World Cups all the time.
I would be more upset.
England would be amazing, but I don't think they're gonna get past Argentina, not with Messi.
No, I would be more upset, except that Argentina has had really good, exciting games. Like they haven't steamrolled the competition. They've fought tooth and nail. That Cape Verde game is like an all-time classic.
Yeah, well, the Cape Verde game was awesome, but also they did absolutely roll over. Did they play Switzerland? They rolled over Switzerland.
No, that was the game. No, it was 1-1, like up into extra time, and then
that's
in extra
right.
time they scored 2 goals.
They go so like goals. That's right.
It was neck and neck all along, and then at the very end, Norway's just like, "Fuck, we're tired. Just take it."
As opposed to Belgium, who just rolled over us. By the way, I want to apologize to the football public out there for our performance at the Belgian game. Oh my God. The only time we went to a watch party, and it was the worst game. I mean, it was so emotionally scarring to see our team play that poorly. Like they played like little kids. And especially after all of the controversy with the whole red card thing, and to have it end like that, it's just that one's gonna hurt for a really, really, really long time.
There's
because
definitely
I know that you're holding it against us as well. You should hold it against us with that red card thing, given the way that we played afterwards.
I mean, I don't think they need to hold it against us because there was such a clear like, oh, now you're in the adult league.
Yeah, we're
it's
outclassed.
Like, oh,
well, I mean,
such a difference in skill that was like,
it's not. Okay, no, it wasn't a difference in skill. That's the thing. It wasn't a difference in skill. We played poorly. We
Yes, that's
played
skill.
miserably. No, we had
I
it
think it was
because that
we also just had we
that
had a
was not the team that
bad
played
team.
against Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I could
Mm,
see it from the starting moments. I said that was one of the best games I've ever seen the United States play because I couldn't believe that it was our team because they actually were communicating with each other in a way that I'd never seen anybody like any of our teams communicate with each other. Like, oh my God, we are playing at big league level. And then they came on and instantly, like they couldn't pass to each other. They went back to it. It's something happened between the two, and I have to think it probably they were rattled by the controversy. But that was
mm.
not the same team. That was not the same team that played against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Not even close. Dude, we scored. We had a self fucking goal. No, not the self fucking goal. That goalie our goalie coming out of his box and being
Oh
scored
yeah.
on like
Well,
that. That's not
kicking
skill.
kicking the ground.
Well, he kicked the ground because he got pulled from behind and he caught his foot. He got pulled from behind by
Okay.
another player. That's why his foot got caught in the ground. So that was excusable, but he should have never gotten himself into that situation. That's your like first thing on a goalie. If you don't leave that box unless you know that if there's anyone near around you, you play very it was just lazy play. Like I said, Belgium did win that game, but more than that, US lost that game. We played badly. And it wasn't us not
Yeah.
having the skill. We did not play at our skill level for that game at all. It was embarrassing. Anyway, let's move on to the news.
Speaking of losing,
This is the GameHounds news, the news music commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is, oh my gosh. Well, what do we want to talk about? There's a
I
lot to
mean,
talk
yeah,
about here.
look, Xbox laid people off. Like we kind
Right.
of knew this was coming for a while.
Right.
They had been talking about it for a while.
And it wasn't, in some cases, it was not as bad as I expected it to be.
But also, we're only halfway done.
True. We're only halfway done. All
so,
right.
yeah, there was
Let's start
3,200
with the good news.
3,200 layoffs planned total. 1,600 took place this week,
On
and then
Monday.
another 1,600 will occur like before Microsoft's the end of their fiscal year.
Right. So the first item is, if we're going to start, let's start with the stuff that makes us feel slightly better. Double Fine and Compulsion are saved. They are no longer going to be under Xbox. They are going to be independent studios on their own. I don't know if they got external investing. I don't know if they did internal investing, like employees buying them out or how it happened. But one, Double Fine and Compulsion, Asha Sharma wasn't a dick about it and let them leave.
I believe that at least regarding Double Fine, I think this was part of the original contract that was like
I would
meant
be.
like when they got bought, one of the original stipulations was
You
like
can't close us. You have to let us
you
go
can't
independent
close
first.
it. You have to go independent and we keep all the IPs.
Right. So
I think
yes,
that was
but I believe both Compulsion and Double Fine get to keep their IPs. So we
yes.
might see a We Happy Few 2. We might see more Psychonauts. They're not going to be tied up with Microsoft holding the IP and holding it ransom or whatever, which is great. It is as benevolent a departure as one could possibly hope. It is it's a large bright spot, but amid overwhelmingly larger amount of very dark spots when it comes to this downsizing of Xbox. So that makes me feel good. I have notes on this somewhere, but I forgot all my notes because we've been doing this show for like what, two and a half hours now. We haven't even gotten to news.
Israel says, "Will we see a return to the documentaries?" I would totally pay
Mm-hmm.
for some documentaries because that Double
Yeah,
Fine documentary is still like a high
it's great.
point of just documenting video game development.
Yeah. So, Double Fine
Well,
statement was once again, Double Fine Productions will be an independent studio. We're thankful to everyone at Xbox for 7 great years together and for working with us to reach an outcome which preserves our history and culture and returns ownership of our games to us. To everyone who has reached out to us in these past few weeks, thank you so much for all your kind words. We've been deeply touched by all your messages. We will share more news soon on what comes next. Compulsion Games, in a statement, said, quote, "Today we're sharing that Compulsion Games will return to independent management following our time as part of Xbox. As part of this transition, we will retain the rights to Contrast, We Happy Few, and our award-winning South of Midnight. We're grateful for the years we spent with Xbox, for the support they provided our team, and the opportunity to bring these games to players around the world. As an independent studio, we're excited to continue building the distinctive games that define Compulsion and taking the next steps on our journey." So that's great. Um,
and then
so
the two other studios that were like divested
right.
were
Uh,
Ninja Theory
Ninja
and
Theory.
Undead Labs,
Mm-hmm.
but they were apparently sold to someone. We don't
Yes.
know who yet,
Yes.
but they were sold to someone with with like a runway that Xbox will still be funding development for Senua and
Um,
State of Decay 3
State of Decay. Right.
and will like help release those. That doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that they have to be exclusive to Xbox, but like the studio that whatever publisher bought them, Xbox is like gonna kind of help fund the end of development of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really
And
curious who bought them.
I am very curious about who bought them. As I think is the rest of the gaming news universe, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll find out soon enough. Arcane Leon is negotiating currently a future way away from Xbox as well, so they may be going independent, which I think is great. It, Asha Sharma could have
That's
just
also
easily
only
shut this shit down with the except of
not
Double
them.
Fine.
Not them. Arcane. The only reason Arcane Leon is still going is because it's in France, and France has super strict labor laws that basically prevents Microsoft from just shutting them down completely.
Yeah.
I'm sure Asha would have loved to just gut them, but she's got to take the time to go. No, we can't do anything else. I guess we have to try to divest them.
Well, I'm sure that Double Fine and probably Compulsion as well. Certainly Double Fine did because we know that for a fact, but also because Tim Schafer's Tim Schafer. He knew that if he was going to put, and that was a concern when he tied his wagon to Xbox 7 years ago, was that what if Xbox shuts them down? So
Mhm.
he put in a contingency that they couldn't shut him down without doing
I believe so.
offering.
I need to make
I
sure
would
of that.
imagine Compulsion had the same thing. They had enough juice when they were purchased to be able to make that kind of assertion and put that into the purchase price, the purchase agreement. Um, so yeah,
Unfortunately,
it may very well be.
it seems like all
Go ahead.
those developers got the better end of the deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, contracts, that's why you write a good contract. You hope that you never have to use those clauses, but always have prepare for the worst and hope for the best, but never don't have a safety net just in case the worst happens, and this is why you do that. Now, a company that did not have apparently that was ID Software.
Basically,
Oh,
all
sorry,
of ZeniMax.
sorry, pretty much all of the back. So, well, let's go move on to Obsidian. So, Avowed 2 has been canceled. And that,
Canceled.
yeah, well, I mean, it has been canceled.
Like apparently,
Um,
there's a skeleton crew working on it while they wait to get transferred to something else in the
which is
hopes that
going to
maybe they
be,
can revive it
well,
later.
it's they're laying some groundwork, and I asked Chris about this. I'm like, how can it be canceled if they still have people working on it? Well, they've been ordered to work on a new Fallout game, and Nick, you were absolutely right. They're going to focus on their main IPs, and they're going to transfer all the other studios that they're going to keep in the medium-sized studios into established IPs, spreading them out probably in the same way that we now have Call of Duty, where it's a IP that's being worked on 3 studios so that you get constant
Yeah.
content on it. They're probably going to be doing that for their other IPs. Case in point, Fallout. Obsidian Entertainment has now been ordered to work on a Fallout game, taking it
Although,
away from Bethesda, but not necessarily taking it away permanently, but I would say probably being added to the stable
yeah,
of
no, I don't. They're
studios that are
not.
going to be working on them.
They're not taking away anything from Bethesda. They're just
Right.
saying, hey, this other company can make a Fallout game. But also, a quarter of Obsidian was laid off.
Right.
25%.
25% of them.
We're gonna lay off a quarter of your staff. Make us a new game.
Right. And
like what? I'm getting a bit of conflicting messaging here.
Right. Well, there's also the other messaging that, and I also asked Chris about that because he has an insight. I'm like, well, why are they still working on Avowed? He goes, well, they're working because they're not going to fire everybody that's working on Avowed, because that's a whole studio. So the people are going to be left are going to be working on Avowed until they sort out what this new Fallout game is going to be, and it gets to the point where they're actually starting to work on it.
Makes
So
sense.
it makes point. It's busy work. It's busy work, just laying as much groundwork that if they ever have to come back to Avowed 2, it's a little bit more done. That being said, the engine, the I forget the name of the engine that ID uses. The ID engine is an in-house engine that they used for
Oh
Avowed
yeah,
2.
what was it called?
I forget. Anyway, there's only one person left on that
Yes.
engine.
So the engine is mainly used for Doom. It was built around Doom.
Right, Doom. Right, the Doom engine.
That's the game. What's the name of the engine?
Somebody in the chat room probably
Not
knows.
Unreal. It's not the Quake engine. Come on, AC Wraith. Where are you?
Yeah. What's the name? I mean, I can look it up.
It's not Source.
ID
That's Valve.
Software, Doom engine. It is called ID Tech.
Is it
ID
just
Tech.
id Tech?
id Tech. Mm-hmm. id
Oh,
Tech.
okay. I guess it is just id Tech. But yeah, the whole id Tech team was laid off, which is about 50% of id itself.
Mhm.
But
So
also,
that's why you lost all of those people, because it's essentially saying, okay, guys, Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is what we're using. We're not going to be using any more in-house engines. And yeah, Chris was very. He's like, this is what delays stuff. But it does make sense in the same way that if you're looking at this structure of multiple studios working on this, consecutive iterations of an IP, is that they're all pretty much going to be all working on the same engine. And it's not just that same engine, is that the engine that Studio One does like say the Unreal Engine, the adjustments that they make to Unreal Engine for Studio One, Studio Two is going to use that same iteration. They're going to be working at the same time. So like in Call of Duty, the changes that are being made to the engine for the Call of Duty for 2027 or 2028 are also going to be used for the Call of Duty made by Treyarch, I think it is, in 2027. So they're all kind of working on and with the same engine, and the changes that one company makes are going to transfer over to the other companies that are also making other subsequent iterations on that IP.
yeah.
So
I think
you don't need that. You don't need to have an entire, like, the same amount of people as working on an engine, because you're having the engine people spread out over 3 different companies. In this case, let's assume 3 different companies.
maybe
In this
like
case, it's Bethesda, and
but you kind of
ID.
do because like a large part of Epic is people supporting the Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the concern with having all these publishers just go, let's just use Unreal, is that some engines work better for different genres,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
an engine. The reason that Bethesda has continued using their engine for so long is because it works well for creating big open worlds where every single item can be picked up and stored. Like that underlying infrastructure and coding works well for what they want to do, which is why they haven't upgraded it. And even as people complain, like, oh, the engine's outdated, the engine is kind of what allows them to make those types of games. That engine you wouldn't use for Doom because
Right.
Doom is meant to be super fast paced with a lot of stuff happening per second. Like the
That's why
engine
they got
might
rid of
not be
ID
able.
Tech. That's why they got rid of id Tech. That's why they're not doing
But
id Tech, because Obsidian's not working on those kind of games anymore.
they're still making Doom. They're still making Doom, and they're still going to make other types of games. They're going to take every genre that they work on and try to fit it into Unreal. And I think the concern people have is Unreal is good at some genres, it's not good at others.
Hmm.
No, but Xbox doesn't care about that.
I don't think that id is going to be working on Doom anytime soon.
Well,
I think that they're going to
no,
be
they
the
won't.
other Fallout studio.
I don't think they're going to make a Fallout game. I think they're just going to help Obsidian and Bethesda make a Fallout game.
No,
They
I think they're making a different. In fact,
No, they're
on
not.
that same topic, there were reports that Sawyer, what was his name?
Josh Sawyer.
Josh Sawyer had
Yeah.
already pitched a Fallout game prior to all of this happening, a Fallout-like game,
Yeah.
and was told, no, Bethesda makes Fallout games.
And like
So
he had pitched a Fallout like game, got told no. He's now heading the Fallout game at Obsidian, but before that, he was working on that Fallout-esque game at Obsidian. So I wonder if they're just going to take that original premise and retool it to be Fallout, or if they're going to start from scratch.
I think they're probably going to take that original premise, retool it, use what they can in order
It
to
would
make
make
Fallout
sense
happen
because
sooner.
that's a way to get it done sooner. But
Right.
also, like, they're still working with 25% less of their staff.
True, but they don't need as much staff if everybody's working on the same game. If they don't need as much engine people because they're not working on ID Tech, id Tech anymore.
But you need that for the next thing. Okay.
Then they'll hire id Tech people later. And
But
yes, they're going to have a brain
because
drain.
nobody knows how to use
Nobody
ed
knows,
tech
right?
because they
Right.
all got fired.
Right.
I think the problem with all these layoffs is that I think what people were hoping for, what I was hoping for, is that it's like a hedge. You know, a hedge grows big, it gets overgrown. It's like, okay, this is a hassle. We need to trim these branches. We need to make this hedge nice and flat and straight and aesthetically pleasing. This isn't trimming the hedge. This is cutting down the hedge. This is cutting the
Yes.
hedge in half. But it's like, I, I thought you were just going to trim it. You were talking about we need to make things better. What all this talk about? Oh yeah, we need to bring Xbox back. You destroyed half the hedge.
Yeah,
It's going to take years for the hedge to grow back.
I don't think they're going to make another Doom game anytime in the next decade.
And
I
no,
think
and
they're
I
going
agree
to
with
be
you.
the other Fallout company.
No, they're not, because id makes action games. They don't make RPGs. They don't know how to make a Fallout game. That's why they're going to do what they did with Starfield. Bethesda made all the RPG on Starfield. Id helped with the shooting. That's why the shooting combat in Starfield feels
Was good.
pretty good.
Hmm.
They are just going to be the combat support team for Obsidian and Bethesda.
Maybe.
The fear that one of the people that got laid off said it is now a support studio.
Hmm.
That is true. They
Yeah.
which flies in the face of like the Asha's stated goal of we care about these franchises, we care about Fallout, we care about Doom. We're not going to make another Doom game again because the studio that makes them is now a support studio. We care about Fallout and we want to get you one as soon as we can, but we're going to lay off a bunch of the people making Fallout.
Hmm.
I think what these layoffs reveal is that Asha Sharma is really just another fucking tech CEO. And all of these layoffs, they don't speak to any actual future plan. They're just short-term slash and
Cost cutting.
burn, cost-cutting measures. There is no actual plan for the future. Her talk of, we want to serve 1 billion people, we want to bring back the franchises you love, you're cutting off your feet, and you're making that stated goal harder to do, which is why like I kind of come out of this going, yeah, Xbox is fucked. Xbox is so fucked because it's not 25% jobs slashed.
I
It's
thought
half.
id Software. Oh, I thought it was a quarter.
25% of Obsidian,
Oh,
50% of
50%
id.
of id. Okay, my bad.
That's like all these, they're just going in and slashing. And we haven't even gotten to ZeniMax.
Yeah.
With Elder Scrolls Online, the Elder Scrolls Online team was gutted again by like half. And that's for a game that has quietly made enough money to support the other failures. But that team got so gutted that the PR had to like rescind the roadmap that they had already put out for content and say, this is no longer the roadmap. We need to reconsider what we're able to do. So a project that was bringing in enough money to fund other failures has now been gutted to the point that they can't put out more content to make the money to fund the other failures, which is, again, all of this is just so short-term cost-cutting measures that I have absolutely no faith in Asha to like do the things she says she wants to do, because she's not actually putting Xbox in a position to do those. There's a way to cost, like getting rid of Double Fine, Compulsion, Ninja Theory, and Undead Labs. Like, yes, she has said that Xbox spread themselves too thin. I agree. That makes sense. It makes sense to like divest yourself of a bunch of studios and take what's left and focus them on your big projects. That makes sense. Laying off the people working on those big projects is not how you create those big projects. It's so like what the question I think come out of this is, what is the plan? And I don't think there is one. I don't think there's a plan beyond we want the next quarter's numbers to look better. But you can't make it again. We talked about this last week. Like, oh, a Fallout game is at least 3 years away. You can't plan for a game that will release in 3 years when you're only thinking about the next quarter. Like 3 years is a fast turnaround time for video games. That's still too long for Asha and Sad Nutella and Microsoft and Xbox. Like in 3 years, what will Xbox look like? I don't know. There's such a significant possibility that Xbox doesn't exist in the 3 years that it takes to quickly make another Fallout game. Like, even at the fastest turnaround, that won't be fast enough to see the results they're looking for.
But if you're at all concerned, and I know that you are, after getting rid of all of those jobs, those 3,200 jobs, and 1,600 with another 1,600 coming.
This will only get worse. This is all going to get more fucked.
This is going to make you feel so much better, Nick. Trust me. All right, just take a deep breath. All right, center yourself. Prepare for some great news. Asha Sharma has joined the Federal Reserve Board. She's doing fine. I know that it was heartbreaking and it was a very difficult time for her. I was heartbroken for her. I was very worried about her. But she is going to join the Federal Reserve, which is the body that implements the United States monetary policy. She's joining their board of governors as part of a group formed to improve efficiency of the Federal Reserve's operations. One of her big duties, is going to assess the impact of AI on the workforce. the workforce that she just gutted of the company that she just took over.
Also, those studies have been done.
Mm-hmm.
They've all come back. Yeah, AI doesn't really make things more efficient. We've already seen those results,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't seen Microsoft do one of those tests.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So this is a former CEO. She's not the only CEO that's going to be coming. Mark
No,
Anderson.
I think she's the only active CEO that will be part of this.
No, she's the only active CEO.
Which again is like, oh, this board this is shit. This is
It's
terrible.
amazing that she's going to have so much extra time on her hands to help with the Federal Reserve when she's trying to run Xbox that is in the middle of one of the biggest restructurings in the history of the company. She has so much spare time to work on the Federal Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I can't even find enough fucking time to do some gaming, and all I have to worry about is bandaging a 95-year-old man's foot 3 times a week. And what to make for dinner. Besides that, the Federal Reserve's commitment to price stability and maximum employment is unwavering, as is our resolve to pursue our mandate with rigor.
Price
U.S.
stability.
economy.
We're gonna raise the price of Xbox again.
Yeah. The U.S. economy has changed significantly over the last generation, and never more so than right now. Each task force will carefully consider whether policymakers' means and methods, analytical tools, and policy approaches can be improved upon. I'm honored that the best minds from a range of disciplines have agreed to working with us to sharpen our performance as an institution. So yeah, the other CEOs or other people that were invited to also work on this the Board of Governors. Mark Anderson, who's a Silicon
That's
Valley
a red flag.
Silicon Valley capitalist who's put a lot of money into AI. He's also the ones that has some very unique ideas about how to use LLMs and how they should be deployed in the future. Also, a Stanford economics professor, Charles I. Jones, who's currently on leave from Anthropic, and former CEO of Walmart, Doug McKillin. He's going to join a different group that's going to be looking primarily at data. So not necessarily
pro AI people in this group.
Mm-hmm. And they're determining our country's helping to determine the direction of the board that is determining our country's monetary policy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was really concerned for Asha. I mean, this is really hard for her, I'm sure, to figure out what she's going to do with all her spare time now that she's fired everybody.
Yeah.
But don't worry, she's good.
It took her 20 minutes to go to sleep the other night.
I know. Oh my God. So yeah, if all of those people who just lost their jobs and are relying upon the federal monetary policy because, they're out of work. Nice to know that the person who fired them is now helping improve that exact monetary policy.
Yeah. It's especially, like I said, a lot of this, there is no plan behind it. How does someone who, explicitly doesn't have a plan for Xbox help make a plan for the country? Like, again, this whole panel is like, how do we make the next quarter's numbers better?
Exactly. How do we make the next quarter's numbers better? Fire people, lots of people, lots and lots and lots and lots of people, and put them on the dole, which is going to affect our monetary policy. Yay, I get to look to the country to give me unemployment benefits that are now in part run by the person who just fired me.
Yeah, well, see, that's why the solution, you got to cut them off, stop unemployment. Yeah. Fire them from unemployment. Yeah, we're spending too much money on unemployment after we fired all the people in unemployment.
Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal coming true. We need them to have babies so we can turn them into sausages.
Yes.
And feed the country. That's how we're going to do it. So, also I'll let you go for the next one. I'm going to get a soda. Let you go for the next one.
Okay. Well, a lot of the next ones I have are kind of smaller stories, but somewhat relevant. I guess let's get into Ubisoft.
Oh, must we?
Ubisoft has had some time too. And okay, I will start off.
With the good news. Start with the good news.
There is no good news. Actually,
Yes,
no,
there is.
I do have
Black
good news.
Flag Resyched has so far done really well.
Yes.
Sold better than Assassin's Creed Shadows.
So actually, on that note, Ubisoft released sales numbers for Black Flag, which they actually have not done for an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag.
Because they're doing so well.
But like those other games did sell well, but it's like, wait, well, with all that popularity comes criticism as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of microtransactions in Black Flag Resynced that has caused a lot of controversy and a lot of criticism.
Single player microtransactions.
Single player microtransactions, which I will say flat out, Ubisoft is being wrongly criticized for.
Really?
These microtransactions are fine. Shut the fuck up. Here's why.
Okay.
They're all mainly just cosmetic stuff. A lot of the complaints come from the fact that there's $80 worth of microtransactions in the $60 game, and that a lot of the costumes themselves are like really wild in ways that don't fit the aesthetic of the game. IGN has a video where they said, you know what? I just really, really want Edward Kenway to look like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat with like glowing ice things sticking out of his hands. And I really want the pirate wheel on my ship to be glowing ice blue with crystals. Like, I need that. And like when you look at a lot of these things, there's also your cat can be a flaming cat. It can be a cat on fire.
Nice.
When you look at all of these things, they do look wacky. And it's like, okay, this is some extreme cosmetics. Like you're really going out of your way to just make the craziest shit. But it's all just cosmetics. It's all just things to change how your character looks. And I remember when Assassin's Creed Odyssey was selling you a piece of DLC that would give you doubled experience. That was bullshit. Because that game was big and it had a long, long grind that really encouraged you to speed it up 50%. This is not that. This is all just cosmetics. They're goofy cosmetics. They're wacky cosmetics. There's a fuck ton of cosmetics, but they're all just cosmetics. The game itself is all still there, untouched. None of these microtransactions affect that single player gameplay. That is fine. If you want to walk around like a flaming demon, like, why not? Why not let people do that? Ideally, in a perfect world, these would just be unlockable costumes that you got as you went through the game. But unfortunately, we live in hell. And so they are all charged extra for it. They're charged too much. But again, it's just cosmetics. It doesn't change how it's played. Compare that to EA. EA also released the game with some bullshit microtransactions. In this case, they are rightly criticized for it. Because in this case, EA is doing what Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There are single-player modes in College Football 27 called, I believe it's Road to Glory and Dynasty. Those single-player games work as like, hey, it's an offline single-player mode. And it's like a campaign in a shooter where you play some games, you gain experience for doing that. That allows you to do more things as you improve your team. In last year's college football, you could change the setting on how much experience you got. So you could have it be fast, you could have it be slow. But if you put it up to fast, that meant that you're basically speeding up how much experience you get in this single player portion of the game, which is like a nice little quality of life feature for someone that doesn't have a lot of time to play a game. It's like, hey, I just want to play through college football and I want to get access to the cool shit quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
In EA College Football 27, let's see, you don't have that ability. So not only did they remove the fast and faster options, they hid those behind a microtransaction. So in the same way that Assassin's Creed Odyssey charged you for increasing the XP you get, college football did the same thing. While at the same time, increasing the XP needed to level up.
So it's made it
So
harder for people who didn't buy
it's
it.
made it harder for people to level up, and
Mm-hmm.
it took away the ability to make that faster and lock that behind a microtransaction. That is the real scummy shit that people should be criticized for.
Yeah.
And EA seemed to realize this because they removed that within 24 hours of the game being out.
Oops. Yeah.
They said, your feedback on Road to Glory and Dynasty is that we've missed the mark with the introduction of paid progression options. This was added independent of deeper mode progression, which aims to give the player more voice. But what you've said is that they're not adding the value we've intended. So they will remove the paid progression features this weekend, as of today, basically.
Oh, what about all the people who paid for it?
Let's see. Blah blah blah. Fans caught wind. As of writing, 70% of reviews are negative. They got your
Fuck 'em.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But as much as I like to hate on Ubisoft, in this case, I feel like a lot of the criticism is unwarranted because yes, there's a lot of microtransactions, but they don't materially affect the game. It's just there
Horse
if
armor.
you want it. It's all horse armor.
Which
EA,
I've always said that that's appropriate for microtransactions. Make it
even if
horse
it's
armor.
even if
Don't
it's
affect
overpriced,
gameplay.
even if it's overpriced, like you just don't buy it.
Yeah, don't.
EA,
This is an argument that's gone back since the beginning of microtransactions. Horse armor
yes,
versus pay to win.
yes, yes,
And that's the difference here.
that is the core.
Right. What it comes down to is horse armor versus pay to win. And horse armor, yeah, absolutely, you should pay for that. Roblox, it's all it is horse armor.
And it's perfectly fine to
Genshin,
say,
that's all it is horse armor.
It's perfectly fine to say that horse armor is stupid. Like, yes, it is stupid, but sometimes you want something stupid and goofy. Like, yes.
I remember with the finals, and you had to have the cat sitting on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I paid $10
for that.
for that cat, and I am happy to have that cat.
Yep.
Oh god damn it! There's a feature in Crimson Desert where you can have a cat and you can have it on your shoulder, and you can put like a special a necklace on it so that it stays on your shoulder when you roll and jump around. I have not been able to tame a cat. I have not been able to make a cat my pet, and it pisses me off because every time I walk up to a cat, I'll pick it up, I'll pet it, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, we're friends now, right? And I'll drop some food for it. Meow! And it runs away. I'm like, you motherfucker.
You just don't have a cat mojo.
I think it's the dog. I think the dog that's always following me around is scaring them away.
Oh, that probably has something to do with it. You might want to get rid of the dog to get a cat.
But the dog picks up loot for me. I don't want to get rid of him. But I need my cat to pick up loot. That way I can put armor on my cat. Cat armor, not horse armor. That shit's lame.
Cat armor.
I want cat armor. But yes, the whole point is pay to win. Fuck you, EA. Cosmetics. Yeah, fine. Ubisoft, you want to put some shit in there, like, do it. That's fine.
Well, if you want to have a good reason to hate Ubisoft, I've got one for you.
Yeah, you go. There's always a reason.
Yeah, well, we did mention that Black Flag Resynced sold better than Assassin's Creed Shadow, so much better that it actually released sales numbers to say,
Yes,
"Hey, it sold!
the
Isn't that
first
great?"
time since the last Black Flag.
So they rewarded the team that did Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
With the pizza party?
Well, that's one word for it. It's a sort of a pizza party in that that's all you're going to be able to afford to eat now because they laid off the team.
Hmm.
Yay, you! Great job, guys. You're all fired. Yeah, they have laid off. Let me get to my notes. They laid off. They
See,
rewarded them, despite the fact that it got an average critic score of 84 on Metacritic, higher than any recent Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag itself. Um, and it
this
has
is a
nearly
legit
100,000 concurrent players on Steam.
this is a legit reason to hate Ubisoft. This is what all people complain about microtransactions. Shut up. This is what
This
you
is
should
why.
be raging against. This is the actual horrible, scummy shit that like you should be trying to stop.
Yeah, so Ubisoft laid off 51 employees at the Barcelona office, which also worked on Black Flag Resynced. The staff has gone on strike. So far, no change. Still, 51 employees are fired. So, to give you a breakdown of everybody at Ubisoft who has lost their job in 2026, so we're talking 6 months. Red Storm cut 105 jobs and was turned into a support studio. Ubisoft Toronto lost 40 jobs. Ubisoft Halifax was shut down. Massive and Ubisoft Stockholm cut 55 jobs. Ubisoft Abu Dhabi lost 29 employees. Ubisoft Winnipeg and Belgrade were shut down. And then, of course, now we have 51 employees at Ubisoft Barcelona office, despite the fact that they shipped the most well-received Black Flag in years.
Most well-received Assassin's Creed game, which
sorry,
also is
Assassin's
like
Creed game in years.
it's one of the I think it's the only game Ubisoft has coming out to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have no content.
Mm-mm.
Clearly they don't because they laid off everybody.
Yeah, so far, if you're keeping count, if you're doing the numbers on that, we're looking at 731 job cuts since the beginning of the year. And on another note, and I forgot to put it in there, I don't know if you heard that Yves Guillemot's brother, who was, let me look it up because I
The
didn't.
one that died in the plane crash?
That died in a plane crash. Let's see, Guillemot plane
Charles,
crash.
I think.
It is Claude Guillemot. So yeah, June 19th, it was a light airplane crash around the town of La Baule. It killed 2 people, and the aircraft was on fire. Flames are spreading to surrounding vegetation. Ici Loire Océan, the mayor, which is the newspaper there, the mayor of La Baule, Frank Louvier, indicated that it was a Cessna 421, a twin-engine propeller jet with 8 seats that had departed from Rennes. And according to the information from West France, which we can confirm, Claude Guillemot, co-founder with his 4 brothers at Ubisoft and owner of the aircraft, was among the 2 victims. So yeah, Claude Guillemot, who is an active, I forget what was his position. He did have a position within Ubisoft. Still,
I don't remember.
let me see, Claude Guillemot, not Kilo. Ubisoft. He was 69 at the time. Let's see. I'm trying to find where it was. He was at Ubisoft and I believe one of the either EVPs or a C-suite or, oh my
Okay, you're a
God.
C-suite guy.
Yeah, he was one of the
What
C-suites.
does it matter? What's
No.
leading
But
you towards?
only that he's largely behind the scenes as the operational backbone of the family's broader entertainment business. So he was chair of the family's hardware arm, Gimo Corporation.
They make hardware?
Yeah, that's all right. Gimo helped transform Ubisoft from a mail-order software business into the world's largest video game companies before serving as chair of the family's hardware arm, Gimo Corporation.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's kind of more in the parent organization of the Gimo, the octopus that is the Gimo family and all of the different businesses that he's in. I have no idea how it might affect business at, probably not that much, but it is kind of notable that they have lost a very important part of the broader family corporation that owns Ubisoft. So, I mean, it doesn't stop Yves Guillemot from being a complete dickhead, but I'm sorry his brother passed away. It is sad, especially, in something as awful as a plane crash.
I've
So
heard
yeah,
Cessna's described as coffins for rich people.
they sort of are. Yeah. Um, So yeah, that happened. Layoffs after being so successful. So no good deed goes unpunished, especially at
Nope.
Ubisoft. So what's your next item?
I will save the actual positive one for the end. This is more interesting. Sony Santa Monica on Twitter confirmed that God of War Lofe will ship on discs. What? What did you change?
You had it Santa Monica, Sana. You had it
Oh,
phonetically, Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's Santa Monica.
They've confirmed that God of War Lofe will ship on a disc, which basically narrows the release date pretty significantly. I think a lot of people were
Oh,
assuming that the game would probably a couple years away. But if they're going to stop production of discs in 2028, that means this game is likely to come out in 2027,
2027.
if not very early 2028, which puts its
Mm-hmm.
release a lot earlier than people assumed.
Wow. That is kind of interesting extrapolation of information based on all the facts given to us.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you said one thing, but it's like one of those deduction games. But if we take all this other information and we apply it here,
That's actually kind of interesting.
yeah,
And I'm kind of glad that it's coming out on disc because at least we know that it will be preserved for time immemorial somewhere in somebody's garage, if
yeah.
nowhere else. I don't have anything else, so it's all you.
Okay. Well, last week I had said that there was a gameplay video for Blood of Dawnwalker, which also just that game. It's the vampire game coming from the ex Witcher 3 CD Projekt devs. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Blood of Dawnwalker. I want to call it Blood of the Dawnwalker,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no the, and it drives me insane. Anyways, last week, Blood of Dawnwalker had a gameplay video on IGN and everywhere. But if you watched it, it was like kind of slow, kind of meandering, like not really engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Come to this week when a lot of previews for the game come out, and they are pretty fawning. And what it sounds like, I'm actually way more excited for this after these previews than after watching that gameplay video, because the gameplay video was just like a guy walking through a cave, like just kind of walking around. But the previews describe combat as being kind of For Honor-esque in that there's kind of a rock, paper, scissors directionality that you have to contend with. But that changes significantly depending on the time of day because you're a
Mm-hmm.
vampire. So if
Mm-hmm.
at night, you have a lot more abilities to play around with. They say the writing is excellent, that the story opens with you having to, like, your community having to pick people to kind of sacrifice to the vampires. And depending on what happens, your wife will always get kidnapped. Your family will always get kidnapped by the vampires. That's what sets off the game. But your mom can either die in the what happens or can live in what happens, depending on what you choose to do. The most interesting thing is the time mechanic. Every time you complete a quest or like do an objective, time moves forward, but it doesn't move forward if you're just exploring the world. So
Oh,
that
neat.
means that if you just want to wander around, you're not going to lose access to anything. But
Hmm.
it does mean that if you want to complete a bunch of objectives, you're going to have to think about time management. And you're going to have to say, I could help this person, or I could go do something else. And a lot of the previews describe, um, oh, your mom is sick and she wants some herbs. Like she needs some medicine. So you could go collect those herbs, or you could just like, nah, fuck off that objective and go explore the city. And in doing so, you can discover like a bit of an underground vampire resistance that sets you up for future stories. And it's like, oh, you can just do completely different things depending on how you choose to spend your time. So hearing that, hearing the combat, hearing that the writing is really good, all of a sudden this game just like ratcheted up on my list. I was already interested in it, but now I'm actually excited for it. So that sounds really cool. And unfortunately, this gameplay video, doesn't show any of the combat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find some that actually got combat, and I'm failing
I
miserably.
don't think they haven't released the combat video. The gameplay video was just you walking around, which is like why last
Oh, no,
week.
no, no. We got some. We got some. I got some. I found some.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yay.
good. Yeah, I
All
wasn't
right.
sure if these previews came with extended videos, extended gameplay
All right.
videos.
There we go.
Uh, but yeah, it's always encouraging to see like a new IP and a new game from a new studio actually kind of live up to the hype so far. So I'm very excited as to how this is going.
Yeah, this looks very cool, and I love that idea that this could be a very different game depending on how you use. Ooh, that was a good execution. It's I love. Oh, ow! That's another good execution.
Okay,
Um,
any game with dismemberment like that,
dismemberments, many
I'm also
dismemberments.
positive on.
So yeah, to actually have how you use your time actually, and I love the idea that it doesn't progress time when you're exploring.
Yes,
Because
that
if
seems
there's
really
one thing
nice.
that is very frustrating, especially when you're, dealing with things like like daylight cycles, is that you end up having to feel time crunched all the time.
Hmm.
So that you don't have the time to like, oh man, I really want to check that out. That's something happening over there. But if I do, I'm going to get caught out and it's going to be daylight and I'm screwed. So
Yeah,
that the fact that you could run around and explore all night, and then only when you want to progress the story do you actually finish any objective, that progresses the story. And that not only that, that it actually makes changes in the actual gameplay,
yeah. So
actually
that
in the
that day and
story.
night, like completing objectives becomes meaningful because that triggers, is partially a trigger for the day and night cycle, which
Mm-hmm.
changes your abilities and what you can do. So you might
Mm-hmm.
look at your objectives and go, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to save A, B, and C for night because
Right.
maybe those are more combat oriented and I'll be stronger at night.
Right. Right. Or I'm gonna do all of the collection of A, B, C, and D and not turn them all in until the very last minute, and that progresses things. Because if that's the case, then it allows me to be able to complete everything A, B, C, and D and not have to be like, okay, I have to wait till damn it, sun's coming up because it took extra long because I waited a few minutes to do
Yeah.
something. Now I have to wait, and that sucks. So I have to wait until tomorrow night to finish A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. I'm way more excited for this now than I was last week because a
Yeah.
lot of the previews have been so positive.
Yeah, and I'm there for it. I'm super happy because I'm looking forward to this game as well. So yeah, all right, that's good news. That's something nice to end on. I
Yes,
like the fact that we
something
can
nice.
actually, yeah, end on something that doesn't make us miserable and worry for, the entire industry of this thing that we love so much. All right. So, anyway, as I've said before, next week we will not have a show, and we will not have a show the
Yes.
week after unless Nick decides to either gameplay or if somebody wants to jump on, whether it's Maynard or if it's Chaos. None of that has been organized. So we're going to say the early announcement is very probably not going to have a show. We may have some streaming gameplay by Nick, but I am going to be
Yes.
out
At
of the
most.
town. Um, and if you have any suggestions of must-see things to do in New York, especially if they are under 21 friendly, that are good for like a teenager never having been to New York City before, a great thing that would be super fun for a teenager who's desperate, desperate to go to the Whitney Museum, that kind of kid. Feel free to let me know in our Discord. I'm going to put the Discord up on the screen, but if you're listening to this show on a podcast, um, you can go to the description of the show anywhere. If you can't find it, it should be on the description of the show in Apple Podcasts or wherever you're watching. But if it's not there or if it's old, I've tried to update everything across all platforms, but I may have missed a few. You could go to the Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch page. Facebook and YouTube were the GameHounds sorry, Facebook and Twitch were the GameHounds. YouTube were GameHounds vids, all one word, like it's in videos. Or you can always go to the website, gamehounds.net. There is a link there that can get you to the Discord server. And yeah, just stick it in our general comment and tag me, Gamer Edie. And just say, at Gamer Edie, hey, you absolutely positively want to go do this in New York. Or even more importantly, Philadelphia. Because there's a lot of things in New York City. Philadelphia, not so much. And we're going to have a whole day to ourselves. And there's only so much Liberty Bell one person can see. So if you have a recommendation, and if you have a recommendation for the best cheesesteak, I know that there's two main places, I don't have them off the top of my head, that are the big places for cheesesteak. But if you know of a superlative cheesesteak, or better yet, a good chicken parm sandwich, either in New York or Philadelphia, let me know. Or if there's something else in Philadelphia that's like, don't leave Philadelphia without trying this because this is uniquely good. Let me know. The Discord channel is, where's the Discord channel information? It is right in here. Um, on the scrolling banner. Yeah, it's coming across right now. So yeah, join our Discord channel and give me some recommendations for Philadelphia and for um, New York City. So, Nick, what are
Yes.
you going to be playing while we're gone?
I want to play that Netflix game. It's called Unhinged. That's worth noting. I want to play that. I want to play the Seance of Blake Manor, which is the kind of deduction game that I was hoping Root Trees would be. A bunch of other like little RPGs that I got on the Steam sale, and of course, more Crimson Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Yeah.
more Crimson Desert.
Yep.
Although I'm nearing the end. I'm nearing my end with the game. After
Really? How many hours are you in now?
I think about like 245.
Ooh.
And I can see the end in sight. I'm exploring the final area, which is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm like, okay, I can see the end. I've done all the different areas. The story's coming to a head. It's like, okay.
All right. Um, and as a final note, before we close off, its own little individual appeal. If you haven't become a patron, please become a patron. We don't ask a lot. $1 a month is all we ask. And you can't believe how much a difference $1 a month would very much make to this podcast for a lot of reasons. Will $1 a month from you help pay for everything? No. But what it will do, I'm not going to lie, here's the deal. I need to make a certain amount of money on this show this year as donations through patrons or as a subscription through Twitch. In order for me to take off the costs of this show, which are not insubstantial, let's just say it costs more than it's 4 figures and is multiple 4 figures a year for me to pay for all of the subscriptions and everything that's necessary to do this show. In order for me to take this off on my taxes, I have to show some kind of income. So seriously, $1 a month. It's not much, but boy, if I could take that money off of my taxes, that's huge because I get murdered by the tax man every year. So, patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. If you can afford more, even better. It gets me a little bit closer to that amount that I can show my tax guy and say, see, I made money this year. Can we take off that money now on my taxes, please? That would be super duper 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 helpful. So please, if you have not become a patron, patreon.com/GameHounds. If you have not purchased your subscription through Twitch, subscribe to us through Twitch. It doesn't cost much. And it, again, makes a difference because a little bit of income goes a very long way in other places. So, and this is not illegal. Everybody does this. This is the way the tax things work here in the United States. And it is a big, big thing in the United States this year in particular. So if you could help, we would appreciate it. Finally, we will see you. So just to be straightforward on when we're going to be talking to you next. The next time I am going to be talking to you is going to be August 2nd. That is our next official show. So yeah, we're dark on the 19th. We're going to be dark on the 26th. We will see you in August. So everyone have a really safe rest of your summer. Be very careful out there. There's a lot of crazies out there in the world. You're not one of them. We're not one of them. But there's everybody else. They're insane, especially if they're on the road or whatever. Be very careful. We want to see you when you come back. Have a fantastic summer. Try to stay cool. Drink water, especially if you are over in the East Coast or in the South and also over in Europe. Drink water and stay hydrated because, boy, the heat is no joke right now. And I am feeling your pain, not literally because it's actually rather cool out here in California. But I know what it feels like because I'm from California and it sucks. And I'm sorry you're going through it. Just stay cool, stay dry, stay out of the sun, drink water. Heat stroke is a thing.
Yeah.
And if you have elderly family, and when I say elderly, they don't have to be all that old. If you have people that are parents, grandparents, older sisters, older brothers that are in the, senior-esque stage, check in on them during this time because they're the ones that are the most under threat from heat waves like we're experiencing now in parts of the United States and in parts of Europe. So check in on them, make sure they're okay, and make sure that they're staying cool and drinking water because sometimes when you get older, you don't clock into things like I feel fine until you don't. And they don't really, it doesn't register sometimes when they're struggling in the heat. So check in on them, and if they need your help, please help them. So everyone, have a great week and have a great 2 weeks, and we will talk to you on August 2nd. And on that note, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 826. We recorded this on July 12th, 2026. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday except for the next 2 Sundays on Facebook, on YouTube. We do it live. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. VIDS is in videos, all one word. We hope to see you here. If you are listening to us as a podcast, as an audio podcast on Apple, iTunes podcasts, or on iHeartRadio, or anywhere else that you see podcasts, think about coming to visit us sometime soon, sometime live. We would love to have you just stick your head in the chat room and say, hey, podcast listener visiting, even if it's for 5 minutes, just to come by and say hi. We would love to hear from you. So join us then live, and if you can't, again, you can always listen to us as Apple iTunes podcast or any other podcast elsewhere as an audio podcast. If you listen to us as an audio podcast, please, please, please leave us some feedback. And if you're listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch after the fact, or even during, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and yeah, subscribe. Boy, that makes a big difference for me right now. Also, if you want to take it a step farther, as I mentioned, patreon.com/GameHounds. That is our patron site. $1 a month is all we ask. $2 a month is even better. You know, every little bit counts. A lot bits count a lot more too. So if you would love to sponsor us, we would love to have you as our patron. Patreon.com/GameHounds. So that you can help offset the costs of doing all of this. And like I said as earlier, it's not cheap. So offsetting costs are very important to me and to Nick, and ensures that we can continue on into our 16th year. Yeah, we're in our 15th year now, our 16th year of doing this show. The Discord channel, the emails, the links are just about everywhere. But if you can't find them wherever you're listening or watching, you can always go to our website, gamehounds.net. There is a link there. And come say hi. Nick and I check it all the time. I'm going to be checking it a lot more now that I'm going to be out of town and be able to have time to talk to you. Thank you again to AC Wraith for putting in all the links of everything that we talked about during the show. You can find those in the comments. Have a great couple of weeks, everyone. We will talk to you on August 2nd. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was the end of the audio podcast. Nick, have a great week.
You too.
I will see you in 2 weeks. And I didn't get to share with you. The reason why I had to go to the door was for Instacart, because even though it's expensive for me to order groceries, and I decided not to have breakfast because I figured I was just going to have a pretzel dog out of my freezer when I got here. And then I walked in the door, which is the first time I've been here since last Sunday, and there's a big puddle of water on my floor. And I couldn't figure out where the hell that was coming from, so I mopped it up. And then I turned around and I noticed that I have one of those refrigerators that's side by side on top, and then the freezer is a drawer on the bottom. The freezer had been left open a little bit like that. So everything in the freezer had defrosted, and everything in the freezer was like pretzel dogs, but also mostly chicken and seafood. So I have mussels and shrimp and chicken breasts and all this stuff that I had gotten very cheap, and I'd put it in there. So now it is all now disgusting and rotten, and I just closed it back up, ordered new, and I had to have it delivered because the show was about to start. So I have to go put all the frozen food, take the old stuff out.
Dump all that shit out.
Oh, I gotta dump all that stuff out right now. Well, I wanted it a little bit frozen because at least, it's easier to throw away instead of just bags of like wet defrosted shrimp.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, AC Wraith. I thought the same thing.
That's the first thing I said. Guess what's in my freezer? And Nick's first thing he said was turkey. I'm like, no, there's no turkeys in there.
You say the word frozen turkey.
There was no turkey in there. No, it was shrimp and mussels, and I got such a good deal on those mussels. I'm so angry. And I have cioppino sauce. I had mussels. I had shrimp.
Oh, you were prepared.
I had chicken. All I had to do was like have a night here and all I was just gonna do was dump it in, and with a big baguette of French bread, and I would have had cioppino.
Mm.
Oh, and cioppino is one of my favorite things in the world. Mm. And I would have cioppino in New York, but fuck that. Cioppino, that's San Francisco.
West Coast
Like
thing.
seriously, that cioppino, if like the death row meal, cioppino would be
Oh,
there for me.
okay.
I love cioppino. Love cioppino. It is yeah, just IV that shit to me right now. And I'm so angry.
Yeah, that sucks.
So angry because I got such a good deal on those mussels. Like I couldn't believe as soon as I saw the mussels, I'm like, cioppino. And then I bought the shrimp went on sale, and it was like, oh my god,
Everything
cioppino!
was lining up.
Everything was lined up, and it was all ready to go. It was all staged and ready to go. I could have had a bowl of steaming hot cioppino in 30 minutes, but I hadn't had ever a night
Thank
when
you,
I was going to
Sydney.
be here. Thank you for the link, a Wikipedia link to cioppino. Anybody, any of you ever end up in San Francisco? Let me know. I will happily take you to the best cioppino in San Francisco.
Okay.
Nick and I will
Well,
we'll go.
we'll take you out for cioppino. Me and Ray, we'll
Yeah.
take you out to nice cioppino someday.
Yeah.
Someday soon when you come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, when I come back, yeah, we'll go do a, and of course fish is right out with
Fish and green? Nope.
nope, neither one of them do fish. So
That's
it's going
fine.
to have to
They
be
don't have to come.
you and me and cioppino.
We can do that.
Bunch of butter, bunch of garlic. Bring it. All right, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great 2 weeks. We will see
Yeah.
you in August.
Yes, 3 weeks technically.
Actually, true. That is 3
Yeah.
weeks. So yeah, see you in
See you in a
August.
while.
And bye, AC Wraith. Take care. Be well. And shoot me a message if I'm anywhere near you. I'm happy to bring you something
Cioppino.
in from New York. I know you're upstate New York,
Turkeys.
which is a long way. But yeah, I would love to hear from you and anything you have to say about New York. Let me know how the weather is, because I mean, your weather is going to be my weather very shortly. Bye, everyone.